it's almost become tradition. These two teams, the Yeshiva University Maccabees and the Farmingdale State Rams, once again in the Skyline Conference Championships. 2 years ago, Farmingdale took the crown. Last year in the Nold Athletic Complex, the Maccabees went in and took the Skyline Championship. This year is episode 3 of what's been an unbelievable trilogy thus far. Welcome into the Max Stern Athletic Center. I'm Yosef Silver alongside my partner Avery Stepner, and we are all set for what should just be an unbelievable game between the number 1 seed home Yeshiva University Maccabees and the number 2 seeded Farmingdale State Rams. Now, Avery, obviously it's been a long season, been a long journey. How have these teams made it to this point?
Yeah, to quote Robbie Seichin, these two teams are the class of the Skyline Conference. So how do we get here? On one side, the Yeshiva University Maccabees went 16-0. They ran the table in the Skyline Conference after a tough non-conference schedule. They entered the Skyline playoffs as the number 1 seed. They beat Old Westbury in round 1, and then the semifinals on Friday afternoon survived a tough game against the Purchase Panthers, winning that one by 15. On the other side, Farmingdale State Rams, 24-3 on the season. They're one of the top teams in the country. They went 15-1 in the Skyline Conference. Their lone loss coming in this building about a month ago to Yeshiva. They entered the Skyline playoffs as a 2 seed. They beat St. Joe's of Long Island and then went Friday night and beat Sarah Lawrence in a tough game. They won by 7. These two teams, to quote Robbie Seichin again, the class of the Skyline Conference, and I'm so excited to see what's in store for this one.
Yeah, and like you were saying, Robbie Seichin, senior captain for the Farmingdale State Rams. A lot of seniors both sides for Yeshiva. You got guys like Zevi Samet, Max Zackheim, Dotan Roy. For Farmingdale, you got Mike Notias, Sean Conroy, and Liam Buckley. What now? Obviously, this is their last ever Skyline game that they're going to play. You expect them to show out. Who are we looking for both sides?
For the Rams, it's going to be senior leader guard Michael Notias. Michael Notias is one of the best pure point guards in the entire country. He was on the Skyline Conference first team. He's an elite passer. He takes care of the ball. He's the type of guy you need in a championship setting in a hostile environment that the Max Stern Athletic Center is going to beat today. If he can take care of the ball, help run the offense, you run a lot of the offense early and often through him, the Rams will be in good shape. On the other side, senior Zevi Samet averages 25 points a game in his career against this Rams team. Most notably, 37 points in the championship last year, capped off by that incredible game-winning shot. And those two guys are definitely going to come out and shine the brightest today. Like I said last game, big-time players, big-time plays, and big-time games. Look out for Notias and Samet.
Now, obviously, this is the championship. Winner move on, loser goes home. What's it going to take for these teams to get it done today?
We mentioned some of the top players, Notias and Samet. You also need a second guy to kind of step up and be that co-star and initiate some offense for your team. For the Rams, it's going to be Sean Conroy. He had 22 points in the semifinal win against Sarah Lawrence. He can get hot at an instant, okay? He can get hot, make a ton of threes, and absolutely win a game for his team. On the other side, it's freshman sensation Yair Dobra for the Max. He's one of the best passers in the Skyline Conference. He shoots 37% from three-point range. He led Yeshiva in scoring with 22 against this Rams team earlier in the season. Look out for Dobra and Conroy as those secondary options. Whoever gets going from those two, their team will be in good shape going forward.
Well, guys, this one's for all the marbles. Yeshiva, Farmingdale State, Volume 3. Don't go anywhere. You won't want to miss this.
Hey Max fans, it's Joseph Gittler, founder and chairman of Leket Israel and proud YU graduate. Thanks for all your support over the years. If you're headed to Israel, please come and volunteer with us. We need your help so we can serve hundreds of thousands of needy Israelis every week. And of course, go Max!
Jewish Insights with Justin Pines, Tuesdays at 8 p.m. on JBS.
Welcome up in the booth here in the Max Stern Athletic Center. Yosef Silver, Avery Stepner. We are just about ready for anthems, lineups. We're also going to have special prayers led by President Berman in light of the recent events in the Middle East. So stay tuned for that. We're going to send it down to the PA announcer. Once the anthems are done, we'll bring it back up here.
gentlemen, at this time, we ask you to please rise if you are able and direct your attention to center court as Yeshiva University's president, Rabbi Dr. Ari Berman, will be reciting prayers for the IDF, the United States servicemen and women.
We stand here more than a game. We stand here representing the values of the United States of America and the state of Israel. And certainly when our beloved countries are at war, we stand in prayer for our soldiers. With humbled hearts and steadfast hope, we bow before the Almighty, lifting our prayers for the brave defenders of freedom. In this solemn hour, as courage stands watch in distant lands, we gather our voices in prayer for those who bear the weight of battle. Almighty God, bless the soldiers of the American military forces who risk their lives for the sake of peace on earth. Be their shelter and stronghold, and let them not falter. Give them the strength and courage to thwart the plans of the enemy and end the rule of evil. May their enemies be scattered and their foes flee before them, and may they rejoice in your salvation. Bring them back safely to their homes. As is written, the Lord will guard you from harm, he will guard your life. The Lord will guard your going and coming now and forevermore. Yishaberach, Avoseinu Abraham Yitzchak Yaakov, hu yivarech es chayalei tzlach Haganah Yisrael. May he who blessed our ancestors bless the members of Israel's defense forces and its security forces who stand guard over Israel. May the Holy One bless me, protect and deliver them from all trouble and distress, affliction and illness, and send blessing and success to all the work of their hands. May he subdue our enemies under them and crown them with deliverance and victory. And may there be fulfilled in them the verse, it is the Lord your God who goes with you to fight for you against your enemies, though she asks them to deliver you. The Nomar, Amen. Let us say, Amen. Please remain standing for our national anthems.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous night? Oh, the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rugged
over alongside Avery Stettner. We'd like to thank JBS, the Jewish Broadcasting Service, for broadcasting tonight's game on national television. JBS is dedicated to strengthening Jewish identity and education through their 24/7 programming. It's an incredible platform for sharing these games, and we're so grateful for the support of the Hode family for once again making this season's TV broadcast possible. Tonight's starting lineups are brought to you by the Yeshiva University Office of Admissions. As you start your college journey, make sure you visit us online to check out all the great virtual events and opportunities we have for YU students and how you too can be a Maccabee. Starting with the visiting Farmingdale State Rams in their road greens. At guard, the 5'11 senior from Manhasset, New York, number 10, Michael Notias. Starting at guard, the 6'1 senior from Syracuse, New York, number 4, Robbie Seichin. Starting at guard, the 6'4 senior from Staten Island, New York, number 5, Sean Conroy. Starting at forward, the 6'5 junior from Manhasset, New York, number 15, Liam Buckley. Starting at forward, the 6'5 junior from Brooklyn, New York, number 14, Kentrell Evans. The Rams are coached by head coach Brendan Toomey, now in his 13th season. Assistant coaches for the Rams are Steve Racefeld, George Riefenstahl, Jalen Miller, and Ben Glasser. And now for your home Yeshiva University Maccabees in their white jerseys, starting at guard, the 6' senior from Bergenfield, New Jersey, number 23, Max Zackheim. Starting at guard, the 6'2 senior from Muncie, New York, number 12, Zevi Samit. Starting at guard, the 6'7 freshman from Mishon Tzion, Israel, number 11, Yair Dovrat. Starting out forward, the 6'5 senior from Fair Lawn, New Jersey, number 13, from Tel Aviv, Israel, Roy Itzkovich. And starting at forward, the 6'7 junior from Givatayim, Israel, number 55, Yoav Selka. The Maccabees are coached by head coach Elliot Steinmetz, now in his 12th season. Assistant coaches Joe Schwartz, Eli Katz, Avi Rosso, Yoni Cohen, Adi Markovich, Ronnie Ganelin. As the Maccabees are being announced for the home crowd, big standing ovation. A lot of Macs fans came out to support the team today. Avery, what's it like to be in a championship environment? How, as a player, do you kind of step up and meet the moment?
Partner, it's a classic cliche that coaches often talk about. You know, it's just another game. It's just like every other game we played. But I got to say, that really shouldn't be the approach you should have coming into these games. Having played in championship games myself, I felt like that extra adrenaline that you have going into the game can propel you to some success. You'll have more energy, you'll be fighting a little harder, you'll be a little more juiced up, more stamina, and that can really allow you to be at your best, right? You can play some better defense, you'll be more athletic, you'll feel a little lighter, and you should really try to channel that into your game and how you play. Another part of this game is that there's a lot of senior and veteran leadership on the court. I'm sure Michael Notias, Sean Conroy, Robbie Seichin, Zevi Sim, and Max Zackheim, the seniors that you mentioned, they'll be calm and cool and under control. But again, a little energy, a little adrenaline might help you early on in this game.
Yeah, and it definitely should be a good one. We were talking before about the game earlier in January, earlier this season, where the Farmingdale State Rams came in, and to be honest, it wasn't much of a contest, but I think you could tell from that game that that's not really who Farmingdale State was. Coach Toomey was saying, you know, he maybe didn't feel that his team brought the effort that they needed, that they really didn't feel that they gave it their all last time. I mean, this is a championship game. You bet they'll be bringing 110%. Yeah,
and part of that is also for the Rams, coming off of last year's loss. You know, you mentioned the history the two teams have. The Rams won the first two of this trilogy. They won both those games in Farmingdale State at their home gym. Last year, blew a late lead. Yeshiva came back and won, so we know the Rams are going to come ready to go. They're a really good team. As I mentioned in the pregame, they're one of the top 40 teams in all of Division III. Right now, they're in line to potentially get a higher seed in the March Madness tournament if they win today. So I definitely expect the Rams to come and bring their best in this moment.
And it looks like it's going to be Yoav Selka against Kentrell Evans on the tip. As we get all set for this one, the gym's excited, we're ready, fans are ready, players are ready, and the ball is up. Tip is bounced around, taken by Kentrell Evans for Farmingdale. Loud defense chants come up from the Macs fans. That was a big key for the Maccabees to kind of earn this game, and it's stolen by Samit. Samit taking it the other way on the layup. Quick 2 points for Yeshiva. Right away, that's something you're looking for if you're the Maccabees. Both, I'm sure Coach Toomey and Coach Steinmetz stressed the importance of starting out strong. Good start for Yeshiva there, as now it's Mike Notias looking to respond. Notias down low, blocked by Dovrat. Unbelievable defense these first two possessions for the Maccabees. Samit taking it the other way, and now he'll slow it down. Robbie Seichin all over Samit. Samit tries to create space, kicks to the corner to Zackheim. Zakheim slowing it down, the senior guard for Yeshiva. Gets it back. Evans all the way out to meet him. Roy Itzkovich with the ball to 8 on the shot clock. Deep three from Dovrat. A bit too strong. And bounces around. They're going to say that's off of Sean Conroy. And Yeshiva will retain possession.
Yosef, that energy and adrenaline early on is in the Mac's favor. We saw them defensively. They're sticking with the Rams with their motion offense. They're trying to get Robbie Seichin loose to try to get a three-pointer early on. Zevi Samet read it perfectly. Yeshiva's off to a good start.
As now it's up to the top. Yoav Oselka for the Maccabees. Hands off to Zakheim. Zakheim working inside. Now gives it off to Oselka, who kicks to Itzkovich at the wing. Tries to throw it back inside for Oselka, but couldn't handle the pass. That's going to be Farmingdale ball.
One thing you'll see early in this game is the Rams' defensive strategy is to take the man that's taking Yoav Oselka and plant him in the paint. That's going to be Kentrell Evans, number 14. Yoav Oselka, not known for his shooting, so we have extra help in the paint. He can slow down the motion offense that Yeshiva usually has. It's working so well for them.
Yeah, it's Michael Notias. Oselka hedges the screen. Now it's Buckley. Robbie Seichin for Farmingdale. Oselka almost picked off the pass, and it goes to Zakheim. Forward to Oselka. 1-2. Couldn't get the dunk, but got the 2 points for the Maccabees. 4-0 Yeshiva lead. And this Farmingdale offense has not been able to figure it out in these first 2 minutes.
Yeah, it's a couple of early turnovers. Yeshiva doing a great job getting over the screens and reading the passes. Their hands are also out, so they're deflecting a lot of passes.
Kentrell Evans gets the ball stripped, taken by Itzkovich. Now it's Zakheim for Yeshiva. Itzkovich to Samet. Robbie Seichin playing physical defense. Samet backing him down, puts it up, and that's good from Zevi Samet. 6-0 Yeshiva lead. Timeout Farmingdale.
Yosef, it's a great start for the Macs, and it all comes from their effort and their physicality early on. One thing to note about this game is the size advantage that Yeshiva has. Yair Dovrat is one of the guards on the Yeshiva roster. He's at 6'7". Okay, Roy Ikovich, around 6'4". Yoav Oselka, 6'8", but he's also built. So Yeshiva playing really physical, and one thing that happens in championship games is the refs will swallow their whistle, and they're not going to call as many fouls. So I think what Farmingdale can do to respond is on the defensive end, you can grab a little bit, you can get away with being physical, and you can kind of knock Yeshiva's offense out of their rhythm. Offensively, you got to look to get the ball in the hands of Notias and Conroy. Let them work their magic on the ball. You can set them ball screens. You can try to run stuff through them, but you should try to get your best players going early, because if your best players are feeling good and they're in a rhythm, then you can kind of play out of that and you can build through the rest of your offense.
Yeah, that's going to be key for Farmingdale, making sure that those guys get going, that something gets going on offense for the Rams. You were talking about the officials earlier. We actually have the privilege once again to have head of officiating for the Skyline Conference, Mel Chedham, in the gym. He once again graciously volunteered to come on the broadcast, so we will be interviewing him at halftime. Stay tuned for that, as it's Notias taking it inside, gives it down low to Buckley, and Liam Buckley, almost a 60% shooter from the field, gets the basket. 6-2, good response out of the timeout from Farmingdale. Itzkovich over to Oselka. Kentrell Evans meets him out of the way. Zakheim taking the screen from Oselka, kicks to the corner for Itzkovich. Thought about the three, now he's going to move towards the basket. Dumps it off to Yoav Oselka. Goes up, front iron, rebound Evans. Mike Notai is taking it down for Farmingdale. Sean Conroy. Zakheim is on Conroy. Taking the screen from Seichin. Samet with the switch. Pass is thrown a little far from Buckley, but he picks it up. And Farmingdale will reset, 10 on the shot clock. Mike Notias moving in on Yair Dovrat. Notias goes up, couldn't get it. Taken by Yair Dovrat for the Maccabees. Zakheim, now it's Oselka. Gives it back to Max. Zakheim moving inside, goes up, blocked by Evans. Conroy going the other way in the fast break. Itzkovich back to defend. Backwards between the legs pass from Conroy to Evans. And 4 straight points for Farmingdale brings this one back within 2.
Kentrell Evans having a really good start to this game. A lot is going to be on his plate to kind of be the physical enforcer in the paint against a much larger Yeshiva team. He's already got a block, he's got a couple rebounds, and a nice finish inside.
Good ball movement here from Yeshiva as it's Zakheim top of the key. 8 seconds to go. Pass is tipped out of bounds by Mike Notias. Yeshiva will inbound with 8 seconds on the shot clock.
with 8 seconds on the shot, I'd expect the ball to go to Dovrat or Samit. They're probably going to go on the ball screen with the Aldo Selka.
Dovrat 3. Bounced around and out. As Farmingdale will take it the other way, looking to tie. Notias. Gets doubled by Itzkovich. Now it's up to Evans. Evans moving inside. Pass is taken away by Samit. Samit working on Seichin, and Seichin does a great job to stop the transition as he'll pick up a foul. But now everyone will be able to reset.
Yeah, it's an uncharacteristic start for this Rams team. They're one of the best, second best officially in the Skyline Conference at taking care of the ball. You'd expect that to sort of level out as the game goes on. They have 3 turnovers early in the game. They average 11 on the season. So they got to start slowing things down and try to run their offense through, take care of the ball a little more.
Max Zakheim. Now it's Itzkovich. Over to Oselka. Hands off to Samit. Tried to throw it back to Oselka. Misfired on the pass. And Oselka tried to keep it in, but it goes to Conroy. Notias on the break. Forward to Evans. Evans inside. Couldn't get the layup. Ball's loose. Picked up by Buckley. Buckley kicks it out to Notias. 4-3. Connect. Michael Notias with a 3 to give Farmingdale the lead, and now the Rams are on a 7-0 run.
Another thing to watch, Yosef, is Farmingdale is a really good offensive rebounding team, averaging 13 offensive rebounds a game between Evans and Buckley. They crash the glass hard, and that can be a momentum swinger like you saw just there.
Cross court to Itzkovich. He'll jack up a triple. Couldn't get it to go as it's taken by Conroy. Thrown forward to Seichin. Couldn't handle the pass. That's going to be off of Seichin and Yeshiva basketball. Seichin thought it was off Oselka, but I think the officials got the call right.
Yeah, we'll see on the replay here. Conroy got a little ambitious on the pass, but it was the right move. You want to push the pace against the Yeshiva team to get them out of their position defensively. That's something the Rams should continue to do, although it didn't work out on that play.
Yeah, but in general, Farmingdale, a team that likes to run and gun play in the full court. That's a 3 from Samit. Bullseye! Sevi Samit returns the lead to Yeshiva. 9-7 now, Maccabees lead.
Sevi Samit shooting 40% from three-point range on the season. That's absolutely ridiculous. He's not a guy you can leave open and give him any space at all. Farmingdale's going to have to adjust and make sure doesn't have any room.
Robbie Seichin taking the screen from Evans, now gives it to Conroy. Zakheim locked in on Conroy. Evans slipped the screen. Pass was tipped away. Mike Notias gets it back. Screen from Seichin. 3 on the shot clock. Pulls. Can't get it. Rebound taken by Evans. Now Notias. Tipped away by Zakheim. Zakheim going the other way on the fast break with the layup. And Max Zakheim. Fast break. Another fast break points for Yeshiva. Wide open Sean Conroy on the other end. And Farmingdale makes him pay.
And that's exactly the type of game you want to play. If you're Farmingdale, speed up the game. You're going to make some mistakes, which they have early on, but if you can get the ball up the court quickly, catch Yeshiva off guard, and give Sean Conroy some space, then a lot of good things can come of it. There's going to be an early foul right there. Dovrat got pushed to the ground by Notias. Pardon me, that was Seichin. That's going to be a second, so Seichin is going to take a seat on the bench with 13:37 to go in the first half.
Yeah, Seichin and Kentrell Evans to the bench. Into the game are Dylan Stanley, number 20, and number 24, Jordan Tucker for Farmingdale State. Yeshiva sticking with their 5. 13:37 remaining, 11-10 Yeshiva lead in what's been a back-and-forth game between these two teams. Dovrat to inbound under the basket. Jordan Tucker defending him. Itzkovich now to Zakheim. Yair Dovrat, Tucker all in his face. Dovrat gives it up to Zakheim. Hand off to Samit. Quick trigger 3. No good. Itzkovich flew in for the rebound, grabbed the offensive rebound. Fresh 20 for the Maccabees. Dovrat thought about the 3. Now pulls. In and out once again for Yair Dovrat.
One thing to note, Yosef, defensively, Michael Notias has a Sevi Samit assignment. So not only is he the number 1 option offensively, he's also guarding the number 1 option defensively. That's some really special two-way ability for the senior of Farmingdale.
As Conroy turnaround floater, no good. Oselka fights for the rebound, and he's going to draw a foul. That's going to go on number 24, Jordan Tucker.
And I think that's a good foul, right? You know, obviously you don't want your guys to be reckless, but I think you want a level of physicality that sometimes results in some fouls, some loose ball fouls like that. You want to crash the offensive glass. Tucker did a good job right there to challenge Oselka, and especially someone like Tucker who's coming off the bench. You know, he can he can give a couple fouls here or there, I think he'll be okay. So that's good energy and some good defense by the Rams.
And now it's Oselka for the Maccabees. Samit, deep three. Couldn't catch anything on that one. Out of bounds, Farmingdale basketball. And the Rams fans are letting Samit hear it.
Samit, I think he felt a little hot early on. He started 3 for 3 from the field with the layup, a mid-range shot, and the 3. I think he's trying to push the envelope a little bit and see how he's feeling. But one thing we know about Zevi Samit, he's not going to stop shooting today. The Rams have to continue to stay alert.
Yeah, and Zevi Samit's been a Ram killer in his time with the Maccabees, so look for him to heat up. As now it's Jordan Tucker for the Rams. Tucker up top to Buckley. He's going to take Dotan Bardichev inside. And they're going to call a foul. I believe that's going to go on Dotan Bardichev. That'll be his first, team's first.
Jose, that's one thing that the Rams have to utilize a little more on their offense. Number 15, Liam Buckley. You mentioned his efficiency. He's shooting 60% from the field on the season. He's capable of creating his own shot, and he's not going to require one of the tougher matchups from the Yeshiva defense. So he's someone that they should look to get involved in this game. That's going to be a tough foul on Oselka, as he got a couple hands on Tucker. And it's going to be underneath the basket for the Rams.
Yeah, that's going to go, like you said, on number 55, Yavo Oselka, his first, team second. That's something to look out for Yeshiva. You know, we talk about the interior dominance that Oselka brings. If he goes to the bench, Yeshiva has options, but obviously it'll be key for the Maccabees to keep Oselka out of foul trouble. As it's going to be Michael Spisto to inbound. That's a 3 from Conroy. No good, but Dylan Stanley skying for the rebound. Ball was loose, and they're going to say it went off of, I believe, Joe Schanzer for the Maccabees. Schanzer pleading his case with Coach Steinmetz to challenge.
Jose, that's 3 early offensive rebounds from Farmingdale State. That's something we talked about. They're one of the best in the Skyline Conference at doing so, and it's something that will serve them well. They can steal some extra possessions from the Yeshiva team.
Dylan Stanley working on Oselka. Stanley stops, turns, up. No good, but grabs his own rebound. And that's going to be off of Dylan Stanley, Yeshiva basketball.
Yeshiva going to go with the big Noam Edry to take over for Yoav Oselka. Yoav needs to take a seat right now. He had a foul. You can see he's a little tired, but you don't want to sacrifice size. So Noam Edry getting some big minutes. We didn't see him much in the semifinal game, but he's someone that's capable offensively of finishing plays. He's good around the basket. He's got good touch. He can also rebound.
Yeah, and a lot of subs for Yeshiva. Samit back into the game, Itzkovich back into the game, Dovrat and Zakheim to take a seat for the Maccabees. Itzkovich, now Edry. Roy Itzkovich up top. Working on Tucker. He's going to take it inside on the layup. Didn't get enough on it. And now it's going to be Conroy the other way, as these teams have been knotted at 11-10 for a while now. Dylan Stanley inside, kicks it to Tucker. Tucker now going to move in. Stanley, hands off. Jordan Tucker gets it back. Tucker, floater, no good. And that's going to be out of bounds off of Tucker, Maccabees basketball.
It's a great defensive possession. Yeshiva has really communicated well, especially on off-ball screens. Farmingdale has not had any space. Has not had any leverage cutting to the basket, and it's forced a lot of contested shots around the mid-range for some of their bigs. So great job early defensively for Yeshiva.
As now it's Joe Schanzer and Roy Itzkovich for the Macs. Dotan Bardichev working on the smaller Connor Griffin. Noam Edry going to move inside on Stanley. Banging around down low. Itzkovich at the wing. 8 seconds on the shot clock. Gives it to Dotan Bardichev. Bardichev working inside. Farmingdale fans getting loud. Dotan chucks it up. Too strong. Schanzer fights for the offensive rebound. Taken by Itzkovich. Great job by Schanzer. Now a 3 from Joe. That's no good. Rebound taken by Edry. Great job from the Macs. 2 free possessions. And Jordan Tucker went flying on the elbow from Noam Edry. That's going to be an offensive foul on number 25 for Yeshiva. Noam Edry. Fans don't like it.
And fans don't like it, but you'll see on the replay, Edry extends the elbow on that one, and it was clearly an offensive foul, but still a couple of offensive rebounds on that possession. We talked about what the Rams are able to do. Yeshiva also able to salvage a couple possessions there. You know, they haven't been able to convert, but you'd expect as the game goes on and they get, you know, a little more calm, a little more into it, they'll start to convert those opportunities.
As now it's Sean Conroy, who's been quiet thus far, loses the handle, gets it back. Tucker, Spisto, working on Schanzer. The smaller guard going to take it inside. Now kicks to Tucker. Driving baseline. Jordan Tucker, turn around, and nice finish from Jordan Tucker to get the basket, giving Farmingdale the lead. And looks like someone from Farmingdale is hurt. That's Sean Conroy hopping around. He's going to take a seat on the Farmingdale bench. He'll get checked out by the medical staff. Hopefully he's okay. Obviously a huge piece of what Farmingdale likes to do, not just on the offensive end, but on the defensive end as well. Hopefully he's all right.
Yeah, and Joseph, one thing that Sean Conroy provides is he has a gravity to him offensively. That means that your defense is so focused, not letting him get any space. You're willing to double him off of screens and send extra help, and that opens up the floor for your offense. But with Conroy out, that's one less star scorer that you have to deal with. So you're able to compress your defense a little more, play a lot more help, and it's going to be a lot tougher for Farmingdale to score outside of just the on-ball ability that Conroy has.
Roy Itzkovich with the ball. Mike Notias in his face. Dotan gets Stanley flying, gives it back to Itzkovich. Itzkovich now to Zakheim. Dovrat, 10 seconds on the shot clock. Dovrat flying inside, goes up with the layup. And Yair Dovrat returns the lead to the Maccabees. 13-12. Just over halfway gone in this first half in what's been a real back and forth game. Setting up to be a good one as it's Jordan Tucker moving in on Itzkovich, goes up, and Jordan Tucker, another nice finish from the Farmingdale guard. 14-13 as this lead is like a hot potato going back and forth. That's going to be a foul going on Tucker. I believe that's his second. 14 fouls for Farmingdale. That is Tucker's second, likely sending him to the bench. Roy Itzkovich checking back into the game for Yeshiva. Liam Buckley checking into the game for Dylan Stanley for Farmingdale.
Yeah, Jordan Tucker with 2 fouls is going to take a seat, but he's been the source of offense for the Rams. A very low-scoring game, but he's got 4 points in the last couple of minutes, so he's kind of kept Farmingdale's offense afloat. He's also provided a lot of energy on the glass, and he's someone that I expect to come back in soon. But still, with 2 fouls, we want to be careful, not let him get in foul trouble.
And you saw very interesting when Jordan Tucker went out, Farmingdale put Kentrell Evans in. Immediately, Coach Steinmetz turned to his bench. Yavo Selka back out on the floor to deal with Evans down low. 13 seconds on the shot clock. It's Yair Dovrat now. Gives it inside to Oselka. Blocked. That looked to be Liam Buckley as it's Spisto on the break. Notias 4-3. Couldn't get it. Rebound taken by Oselka, who couldn't handle it. And Kentrell Evans does a great job to fight for another possession for Farmingdale.
One thing Farmingdale has done a really good job of defensively is not leaving Kentrell Evans on an island with Yavo Selka. Yavo Selka, second-team all-conference player. He's the best offensive center in the conference, but they're sending a lot of help to Evans to try to contain Oselka, number 55, for the Max.
As Spisto, they're going to get Oselka for a reach. That's his second, and that could be a huge turning point for the Maccabees. Oselka turning towards the Maccabees bench saying, no, don't worry, I'm good. But Coach Steinmetz going to put in Noam Edry, sending Oselka to the bench. And knowing Coach Steinmetz, that's pretty much going to nail Oselka to the bench the rest of the half.
Yeah, I think that's the right move. With 8:46 left, it's a 1-point game. I think you can weather the storm without him. When you get to the second half, the presence that he brings offensively and defensively, you're going to need him down the stretch. And then immediately, Noam Edry getting called for a foul there is a great take by Notias.
And that's Edry's second as well. We kind of saw this in the game against Tufts last year. Oselka picked up 2 quickly. Dotan was unavailable. Luke Cronin last year picked up 2. Coach Steinmetz looks to be leaving Noam Edry in despite the 2 fouls. But if Edry picks up 2, it'll probably be up to either Dotan Bardachev or Roy Itzkovich to deal with the big man Evans inside. First one from Notias is good.
Joseph, I think with how good of a rebounding team Farmingdale is, one of the better in the conference and really all of Division III, I think you have to keep Edry in. You have to roll the dice, keep some size in. If he fouls out, then so be it. But you got to keep size on the floor against Farmingdale.
Second one, no good. Rebound taken by Dovrat. 15-13. Farmingdale lead, 8.5 remaining. Roy Itzkovich looks to check back into the game for Yeshiva, as now it's Edry. Cross court to the corner. Zakheim back up top to Bardichev. Bardichev going to move inside corner. Zakheim 3. No good again. Yeshiva has been pretty cold from deep here in this one. 15-13. Farmingdale remains up top. As now it's Buckley. Cross court to Spisto. Michael Spisto Working on the bigger Noam Edry. 15 seconds.
Yeah,
Buckley.
they're looking to get to Evans in the post. He's got Zakheim on him.
As now it's Notias moving in on Zakheim, and they're going to call Zakheim for a block. And that is the right call, which will send Michael Notias back to the line.
Yeah, how about Notias? Obviously a really good shooter, but he's done a great job at getting into the lane. He's got Yair Dovrat on him, so you think not the right time to try to press the issue. Dovrat has about 7 inches on him. But Notias is so quick that he's able to get that step, and it causes the defense to have to react a bit late, and he's drawn a couple fouls here over the last couple minutes. One on Zakheim, one on Edry, and also on Oselka.
First one from Notias is good. It's time for tonight's trivia question. The trivia question is, we know the dominance of Farmingdale State and Yeshiva. Who is the last team outside of Yeshiva and Farmingdale State that won the Skyline Conference? Tweet your answer with the hashtag MaxLiveTrivia. Once again, which team other than Farmingdale State and Yeshiva most recently won the Skyline Conference?
Yosef, it's crazy to think the last 8 champions have been between these two teams. Again, just shows the testament to the programs that these two teams built between Coach Dimatz and Coach Toomey. It's been really fun to watch, and yet another battle between these two teams. And right now, it's only a 4-point game. This one is probably going to be very close.
Dovrat, now Dotan, Bardachev, 4-3. Once again, in and out. Itzkovich fought for the offensive rebound, but it's taken away by Farmingdale. They're going to push. That's Griffin inside to Evans. Evans gets a man flying and hits the basket. Timeout, Coach Dimatz.
Yosef, the Farmingdale defense has done a great job, specifically on Zevi Samet. He was the guy we highlighted pregame. He was the Skyline Player of the Year. And since the first couple of minutes, he's been quiet. He hasn't even gotten the ball because the off-ball defense has been so good. That's really what's making this Farmingdale State defense run. They're forcing Dovrat and Dotan to beat them, but they haven't been able to.
Yeah, it should be a good one once we get back down, but we're going to send it to our sideline reporter, Zachary Siklik, standing by. Zach, take it away.
Thank you, Yosef. Over Shabbos, Zevi Samet had a bunch of the guys for a total of 22 people at his Friday night meal, all of which were there to experience the Samet Shabbos. While Zevi's parents were at home, he was able to have his cousins over, and Shabbos was spearheaded by Yehuda. The highlight of the Shabbos was probably Ari Shklar's Tvar Torah. He spoke about how no matter what, good times and bad times, for every mitzvah we do, whether it's wearing tzitzis, putting on tefillin, keeping Shabbos, we get reward in this world, but the main reward is in the next world. Overall, it was a pumping Shabbos with music, ruach, simcha, and a great opportunity for the guys to bond before Championship Sunday. Yosef and Avery, take it back.
Thank you, Zach. Obviously, continuing the impact Zevi Samet has on these guys, not just on but off the court as well. And it's really brought the team together. And speaking of bringing the team together, coming off of that timeout, Avery, what are you looking for to change with the Maccabees?
Yeah, I think it's continuing to run that motion offense, but also getting Zevi Samet some touches early on in the shot clock. Maybe it's him bringing up the ball and having a high ball screen for him. Maybe it's a dribble handoff. Yeshiva have not been able to get anyone loose, have not gotten a lot of good shot attempts. Sometimes the best shot attempts they've had all season is Zevi Samet just making something happen.
As now it's Yair Dovrat, down low to Zevi. Zevi gonna shoot, no good again from Samet. As the Maccabees now 6 of 21 from the field, 1 of 11 from 3 on the day. That's a huge storyline in this one. As now it's Kentrell Evans, hands off to Notias. Mike Notias gonna take Dovrat inside, goes up, blocked, but taken by Evans. Connor Griffin. Samet defending him. 7 seconds. Notias going to try to move back inside. Up top to Buckley. And that's going to be a walk on Liam Buckley. Yeshiva basketball. 6:51 remaining. Farmingdale still up by 6.
Yeah, but Yosef, it just feels like this Farmingdale offense is having a much easier time just getting to their spots and getting the type of matchups they want. Notias has had virtually no off-ball pressure on him. He's been able to just walk up the court and do whatever he wants. So Yeshiva has to amp up the off-ball pressure just like they're doing against Samet.
Samet thought about the 3, dumped it off to Itzkovich. Roy puts it up. Once again, in and out for the Maccabees. How many shots have they had that's bounced around and out? As the Maccabees again cannot convert. Farmingdale still on a 7-0 run, 12-2 run over the last 7 minutes or so for the Rams. Michael Spisto. Connor Griffin, that's a 3 from Griffin. A little bit too strong, taken by Zakheim. Zakheim top of the key, Dovrat, Samet. Samet, Connor Griffin defending Zevi now. As it's Yair Dovrat working on Otias, gets past him, under the hoop. What a play by Yair Dovrat. Great finish from the Israeli freshman sensation. As now it's Spisto, Griffin. Taking the screen from Evans, goes the other way. They're gonna catch Zevi for a bump, as that'll be 17 fouls on Yeshiva, sending Farmingdale to the line.
Yeah, you're gonna watch the Farmingdale defense. It's almost like a boxing one, where all the pressure is on Zevi Samet, but outside of that, they're letting, or even like a triangle too, they're letting Yair Dovrat, Max Zakheim really do what they want. We talked about before the game, the importance of Yair Dovrat stepping up and creating some offense. He had a great move right there to do so. And you got to mention on the other side, number 5, Sean Conroy coming back into the game. He looks to be okay. That's a huge development for this Farmingdale State offense. Yeah, and it's almost more notable that this run from the Rams, free throw no good, rebound taken by Roy. This extended run from the Rams has come mostly without Sean Conroy on the floor. You know, obviously getting him back into the game will be a huge boost, as it's Samet now working on Conroy. Up top to Dovrat. Yair Dovrat calling for the screen to Bardichev. Lost the handle, got it back. Referees say play on. As Dovrat, step back 3, short, but taken by Itzkovich. 3 seconds on the shot clock. 2, turnaround Jay, up, no good. Once again, a fruitless possession for the Maccabees, as this Farmingdale defense has been absolutely stifling over these past 6, 7, 8 minutes. Sean Conroy. Evans set up the screen, then slips, goes up. And Kentrell Evans, another basket for Farmingdale. Evans up to 6 points on the day, as Farmingdale lead also up to 6. Yair Dovrat down low to Max Zakheim. Evans all the way out defending Zakheim. Dotan Bardichev down low. He's going to force a foul from Mike Notias. Probably a smart foul if you're Notias in that situation. Dotan had probably 6 or 7 inches on him. Yeah, and that can't be the defensive game plan for the Rams. Kentrell Evans, who's going to come out right now for Dylan Stanley, can't be caught on the perimeter. He's too important of a rim protector against the size that Yeshiva has. And whenever you get Dotan Bardichev one-on-one with Michael Notias underneath the basket, that's not a recipe for success for the Rams. As Dovrat to inbound under the basket. Samet working on Mike Notias. Up top to Itzkovich, hands off to Samet. Yair Dovrat now. 9-0 run for Farmingdale. Yeshiva looking to end it. Pass goes cross court to Bardichev. Can't handle it. Going to be Farmingdale basketball. And these last couple minutes have really felt all Farmingdale. And one thing that Farmingdale is doing is they're basically double teaming Dovrat and Samet wherever they go. Whether it's off of a ball screen, they're getting the ball on the perimeter, and they're forcing other guys to beat them. Those other players have not been able to do so. And there really is just a lack of shooting on the court for Yeshiva that's hurting them, because the defense is able to play so much help on their star players. Notias now. Conroy going to take Zakheim inside. Buckley, 4-3. No good. Zakheim flying for the rebound. And now it's Zakheim. Gives it over to Samet. Farmingdale right now in a triangle 2. Like you were saying, just locking down Samet, locking down Dovrat, forcing someone else to beat them. That's Itzkovich from the foul line. Once again, another miss for the Maccabees, as they've been ice cold over the last 10 minutes or so. Notias flying by. That's going to be a block. Rebound is tipped out, and they're going to call a loose ball foul on Sean Conroy. He can't believe it. A little bit of a broken play. Farmingdale up to 16 fouls. That's going to be the first on Sean Conroy. Joseph, I think that was a good foul for them in the end, especially because it's the first on Conroy, because Samet was going to go the other way and almost assuredly have an open layup. As now it's Samet looking to calm things down for Yeshiva. For the Maccabees, something's got to get going on the offensive end. Just 15 points almost at halftime. Definitely not what they were hoping for. Dovrat down low. Sean Conroy on him. Scouting the defense. That's a 3 from Bardichev. And Bardichev front iron on the 3. Usually a good shooter. But Bardichev 0 for 3 now on the day from deep. Dylan Stanley back into the game for Farmingdale with the ball. Buckley
40% shooter, puts it up. Once again, no good from Buckley. Another rebound for Zakheim. Zakheim pushing the pace, going inside, loses a handle. And that's going to be Farmingdale ball.
And we got to give credit to this Farmingdale State crowd. They traveled well, and they're getting absolutely hyped. And they've had a lot to cheer about because this defensive energy that Farmingdale has been incredible.
And that's going to be a 30-second timeout from Farmingdale. We're going to send it to it's going to be a full timeout for the Farmingdale State Rams. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Hey Max fans, it's Joseph Gittler, founder and chairman of Leket Israel and proud YU graduate. Thanks for all your support over the years. If you're headed to Israel, please come and volunteer with us. We need your help so we can serve hundreds of thousands of needy Israelis every week. And of course, go Max!
Yosef Silver alongside Avery Stepner. Score reads 21-15 Farmingdale, 2:50 to go. The Maccabees have been scoreless in over 3 minutes. Farmingdale currently on a 9-2 run. Avery, what's it going to take for the Maccabees in these last 3 minutes of the first half?
Yeah, it's going to be about the defense right now. If you can hold Farmingdale, get a few stops, your offense clearly has some issues that you're going to have to resolve at halftime. But if you can go into halftime only down by 5 points, I think you'll feel good about where you're at going into the second half.
As now it's Conroy working on Zakheim, pulls up, no good, but rebound taken by Stanley, down low to Buckley. Good passing down low for Farmingdale as Liam Buckley makes the Maccabees pay. One of the highest free field goal percentages in the Skyline Conference does Liam Buckley. That's a quick trigger three from Samet. In and out for Zevi Samet as he's going to put it up basically anytime he gets an inch of space. As Mike Notias with the ball for Farmingdale. Hands off to his brother James. James moving inside on Samet. Loses the ball. They're going to say that's all for Farmingdale, and Yeshiva's going to get possession back.
Dylan Stanley, another offensive rebound leading to a layup. He's been an unsung hero for this Rams team in the first half with his rim pressure, his ability to play big against this Yeshiva team. Dylan Stanley, a couple offensive rebounds leading to points. And what's been such a low-scoring game, these points are at a premium, so that can't be understated how important those rebounds are.
Yair Dovrat, now Bardachev. Samet in the corner, Mike Notias draped all over him. 9 seconds on the shot clock. Samet driving baseline, creating some space. Gives it to Itzkovich inside, and the Maccabees finally break the drought. 23-17, Farmingdale still leads. 1.5 left to go here in this first half. Defense chance from the Max fans. As that basket kind of brought him back in. That's up from Notias, no good. Rebound Zakheim, forward to Dovrat, and Max will push the pace. Dotan Bardachev to the corner for Itzkovich. Zakheim came flying in. As now it's Dovrat. Zevi Samet inside to Zakheim, backwards, and Max Zakheim, the southpaw with his right hand, getting the basket.
Zevi Samet demands so much attention, especially when he's down low in the post, because the size advantage over Notias. And these Max cutters doing a great job getting open off the ball. Samet able to find them for a couple buckets.
As now it's Buckley, hands off to Conroy. Conroy thought about the three, and I'll give it back to Buckley. 11 seconds for Farmingdale. James Notias working on Samet. Notias working around, throws it away. Yeshiva basketball, 38 seconds to go, 4-point game.
It's been an incredible couple minutes for Yeshiva. Can't understate how huge it's been. They've been dead in the water the entire half. Absolutely no momentum. Only 15 points for about 10 minutes or so. Really nothing going for them. But a couple really good offensive possessions for Zevi Samet and a couple really good defensive possessions, forcing a couple turnovers. We'll see how they finish the half.
Kentrell Evans back into the game for Farmingdale. Dylan Stanley taking a seat. Just a reminder, Oselka sitting on the Max bench with those 2 fouls. He's been there for almost 10 minutes. Zakheim thought about the three. Now he's going to dump it off to Dovrat. 20 seconds. Down low to Samet. Great court vision. Connection from Dovrat to Samet. And the Macs are within 2. 15 seconds remaining in the half. Coach Toomey telling his Rams to hold for 1. 10 seconds. 8 seconds for Farmingdale. Mike Notias calling out plays. Telling Itzkovich to clear out. Notias across the Conroy. 4-3 at the buzzer. No good. As the half will end, Yeshiva with all the momentum. 6-0 run at the end of the half for the Maccabees. As this one, similar to Friday's game, heads to the half. Farmingdale 23, Yeshiva 21. 2-point lead for Farmingdale. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with an interview with head of officiating for the Skyline Conference, Mel Chedham, and the Lekket Israel halftime stats right after this.
My name's Yogev Verdugo, founder and camp director of Step It Up, a sleepaway basketball camp located in upstate New York, founded on the premise that the game of basketball is overplayed and undertaught. Game IQ. Knowledge is power. Our players understand the game, understand how to bring the ball up court, initiate offense, understand how to pick apart man-to-man defense, how to operate against a zone defense, play low-high, high-low, ball reversals, driving and kicking in order to get a higher percentage shot, using zero dribble offense, drive fakes, pass fakes, and shot fakes to get the defense to commit. Of course, on the defensive side of the ball, to impact the ball both on the ball, off the ball, understand how to manage a team on the court and off, and much, much more. We believe that knowledge is power, and we aim to equip every single one of our players with a keen understanding of the game. Basketball fitness. If you're in great shape, your skills and game knowledge can come to life. Everything from speed, strength, quickness, agility, flexibility, balance, breath work, conditioning, the entire body. Nutrition, what we feed our bodies with. Our players understand that on-court success goes hand in hand with the foods that we put into our bodies. Our players understand the value of proteins, carbohydrates, both simple and complex, vegetables, colorful plates, proper hydration. Regardless of how much knowledge or how much of an advanced skill set our players have, they understand that without proper nutrition, it will be very hard to succeed on the court. Our mentality and philosophy go hand in hand. While we try to develop a player who can impose his or her will on their opponent, at the same time, we want our players to be with a calm mind and a center. Working very hard is a spiritual experience. In order to get good in basketball, you have to trust the process. You have to understand that some days, some week, some months, and even some years over a career will be hard. If you can stay the course and trust your skills, trust the work you've put in the long run, you'll succeed. Our players understand this, and they have a trust in their work and a trust in a process that allows them to enjoy the journey. I think a huge part of development is also knowing when to take a step back. You know, sometimes when we're chasing dreams and chasing goals and working towards something, we get so consumed and even obsessed with it. Sometimes you're having a bad day, put the ball down, jump in the pool, go watch a movie, hang out with friends, take a nap. If you're going to chase big goals, be patient with yourself. Self-compassion, self-love, live in gratitude, trust the process. More than anything, enjoy the process. This is basketball. You chose it because you love it, love the game, and the game will love you back. Honor the game, and the game will honor you back. Respect the game, and this game will give you more than you've ever imagined.
We made it.
In the best way we can have a greater understanding of how significant having the State of Israel is to come visit.
I love Israel right now. I ain't gonna lie. I would love to stay here.
Max Live, Yeshiva University men's basketball on JBS, is made possible in part by Janet and Lior Hod and family, in memory of Moshe Kranzler and Dov Saba Hod, Zichronam Livracha, both of whom loved the Max.
Welcome into the Max Stern Athletic Center. We're here at halftime with head of officiating for the Skyline Conference, Mel Chedham. Mel, we're always thankful to have you on. We appreciate you taking the time. Just to start out, I guess, you know, you're the head of officiating. Obviously, you're the one who's in charge of assigning officials to different games. What goes into, you know, deciding which officials get which games?
Well, first and foremost, thanks for having me. You know, the production team here is tremendous, and I always enjoy coming on with you guys. The way that we do the selection process for the playoffs is I send out an availability list of who I have cured on a list for prospective assignments. The way it'll work from there is the coaches will rate each one of the officials 1 through 4, and then I will get back with each coach prior to the assignment of the game. A lot of conferences and a lot of coordinators do not do that. I feel that it behooves me and my staff to have the coaches and my crews feel comfortable when they're going into work a playoff game.
Sure, and there's been a lot of talk this year. Replay, brand new in the Skyline Conference. You've come on, you've spoken with us before, but now with the season basically at a close, only 20 minutes remaining to the Skyline season, maybe more if overtime. But what are your thoughts overall on how replay's been implemented, how it's been used, and just overall thoughts on the implementation of replay in the Skyline Conference?
Yeah, when we spoke back in January, you know, this was huge. This was huge for Melissa and our commissioner Melissa and the conference to get it through. Coming into today, I believe that we had upwards of 70 reviews on all of our conference games or non-conference games. We've gone to the monitor about 70 times for F1s, out of bounds, challenge plays. And what it is it's also a training tool. When I can get our referees to go over and use it, it is great because it's giving your crew here, it's giving some of the other less experienced crews with the television and the replay opportunities. It's like riding a bicycle. The more you do it, the better off you're going to get at it. So,
and now, you know, just looking towards today's game, 23-21, Farmingdale lead at the half. What are your thoughts on how the game's gone thus far?
Well, it got out to 6-0, and I thought it might have gotten. I thought it was going to get ugly quick, but Farmingdale, you know, got it together, and YU hit a dry spell there. I think they went about. Sorry about that.
Thank you.
YU went on a drought of about 4 points in about 10 minutes. So I think this is going to be. That was the easy half, as we say as officials. That the first half is always the easy one. That was the easy one. So I think this is going to be a lockdown, you know, second half. I just hope, for our sake, I hope the ball goes in the hoop, and I hope our guys have nothing to worry about.
Yeah, it should be a good one, though, either way. Once again, thank head of Skyline officiating, Mel Chedham, for coming on. We'll be right back on the booth for the Lekket Israel halftime stats after this.
Thanks.
Hey, Max fans, it's Joseph Gittler, founder and chairman of Lekket Israel and proud YU graduate. I'm coming to you today from our distribution center. We could not do this without you. Without all your support over the years, we could never feed hundreds of thousands of needy Israelis. Please continue to help us, and of course, go Max! Hey Max fans, it's Joseph Gittler, founder and chairman of Leket Israel and proud YU graduate. I'm coming to you today from our distribution center. We could not do this without you. Without all your support over the years, we could never feed hundreds of thousands of needy Israelis. Please continue to help us, and of course, go Max! Hey Max fans, it's Joseph Gittler, founder and chairman of Leket Israel and proud YU graduate. Thanks for all your support over the years. If you're headed to Israel, please come and volunteer with us. We need your help so we can serve hundreds of thousands of needy Israelis every week. And of course, go Max!
Max Live, Yeshiva University men's basketball on JBS, is made possible in part by Janet and Lior Hod and family, in memory of Moshe Kranzler and Dov Saba Hod, Zichronam Livracha, both of whom loved the Max.
Welcome back into the booth here in the Max Stern Athletic Center. Yosef Silver alongside Avery Stepner as the Farmingdale State Rams lead the Yeshiva University Maccabees 23-21 here at halftime of the Skyline Conference Championship here in the Max Stern Athletic Center. We'd like to thank JBS, the Jewish Broadcasting Service, for broadcasting tonight's game nationally. JBS is dedicated to strengthening Jewish identity and education through their 24/7 programming. JBS is an incredible platform for sharing these games, and we're so grateful for the support of the Hod family in making this season's television broadcast possible. Stay tuned as we bring Max energy to your screens coast to coast. It's now time for everyone's favorite time of halftime, the Leket Israel halftime stats, which are brought to you by Leket Israel, rescuing nutritious surplus food for Israelis in need. And Avery, I think we got a lot to talk about.
Yosef, both these teams are top of the Skyline Conference, either number 1 or number 2 in assists, field goal percentage, and three-point percentage. You would not know that by watching the game today. So we'll get into some of the percentages first. Both teams shooting 32% from the field. And the main one is Yeshiva shooting 7% from three-point range on 14 attempts. A lot of what they do offensively is predicated on shooting threes and spacing out the floor. They have not been able to do so tonight, and it's evident because they only have 21 points at halftime, which is a testament to Farmingdale's defense. We'll touch upon that in a little bit. Just a couple more stats throw at you. Farmingdale, I think the reason they have a 2-point edge right now, which feels big considering the way the defenses are playing, is their rebounding. They got 24 rebounds to Yeshiva's 8. They've been crashing the offensive boards well, whether it's Kentrell Evans or players off the bench like Jordan Tucker and Dylan Stanley. The last stat that is worth mentioning is both teams are the top of the Skyline Conference and even in the country at turnover to assist to turnover ratio. Today, both of them, Yeshiva 5 assists and 5 turnovers, Farmingdale 7 assists and 8 turnovers. Both defenses have been playing lights out.
Yeah, and it kind of speaks to both coaching staffs. Coach Steinmetz for Yeshiva, Coach Toomey for Farmingdale, really doing a great job of scheming their teams, throwing the other teams out of rhythm. It's something Bill Belichick was famous for, forcing the other teams to play left-handed. I think both coaches have done a great job forcing the other teams to play left-handed. And now talking about specific players that have done well today. Who have you seen in the first half? Who stands out to you as guys that have been really playing well in the first half?
I think maybe the most important player, other than Michael Natias for Farmingdale today, has been big man number 14, Kentrell Evans. He's tasked with the Yoav Oselka, Noam Edry, Dotan Bardichev in this Yeshiva big man rotation. and he's absolutely held his own. He's got 6 rebounds on the day. He's got 6 points. He's got 2 blocks. And what he's doing defensively is they're putting him in help. Okay, he's playing by the basket to try to limit the drives for Oselka, Samit, Dobrat, and he's absolutely done that. He's been a huge part of why Farmingdale is winning this game. On the other side, Zevi Samit with 9 points. We highlighted him before the game as the Skyline Player of the Year. He's had a dominant stretch at Yeshiva, and potentially one more half to go if he can't figure it out. He's got 9 points on only 1 for 4 from the three-point line. Yeshiva's going to have to find a way to get him some space so he can operate to the fullest extent.
As to reset the starting 5 on the court for Yeshiva, Max Zakheim, Zevi Samit, Roy Itzkovich, Yair Dovrat, and Yoav Oselka for the Maccabees. For the Rams of Farmingdale State, it's going to be Michael Notias, Robbie Seichin, Sean Conroy, Liam Buckley, and Kentrell Evans. And we're back in play. 23-21, Farmingdale State holding a 2-point lead over the Maccabees in what is likely the final half of Skyline basketball for the 25-26 season. Zevi Samit taking off the handoff, and you see the second Samit touches the ball, immediate double team for the Rams. Inside to Oselka, tries to go over Conroy, no good, gets his own rebound, no good again, and Kentrell Evans fighting for the ball, and Roy Itzkovich going to get called for a loose ball foul. Great job by Evans.
Right away, you see Kentrell Evans' impact on full display. It's the defense. Yoav Oselka has been dominant this year in the paint, one of the toughest players to stop. He's averaging around 15 a game on high percentage from field goal percentage. Evans with some good defense and then securing the rebound and forcing a foul on Roy Itzkovich. So a great job by Evans to start off the half.
Mike Notias now for Farmingdale, going to take it down. Defense chance come up from the Max fans. Notias over to Seichin. Robbie Seichin turning around, now brings it out. 15 on the shot clock. Seichin going to attack the basket, goes up, and gets the layup. Good start for Farmingdale.
All the talk about Zevi Samit on one side, Michael Notias on the other side with 6 points on 1 for 8 shooting. So again, other guys are going to have to step up. Robbie Seichin creating his own shot right there, and that's going to be big for Farmingdale if they can get other guys to score on the ball.
Samit, now Dovrat at the elbow, pulls and gets it. Yair Dovrat, typically the Maccabees' second option, been quiet today. That's only 6 points for Yair Dovrat. But he gets the Maccabees on the board in the second half. Mike Notias looking to respond for Farmingdale. Samit almost jumped the pass. Now Seichin's going to move in on him, goes up, and 1 for Robbie Seichin. As Zevi Samit going to get called for a foul. That's 2 quick fouls on Yeshiva, and Seichin will head to the line.
Yosef Robbie Seichin, the captain for this Rams team, proving to be a big game player. He had 13 points on Friday night against Sarah Lawrence. Now he's come in with a couple huge buckets to start off the half. Farmingdale with a 4-point lead, but again, like we talked about, because how low scoring this game has been, that feels a lot bigger than it is.
Seichin, 1 free throw after the made bucket is good. Now a 5-point lead, for Farmingdale. Minute and a half into the second half. Max Zakheim for Yeshiva gives it to Dovrat. Inside to Oselka, wide open. And Yoav Oselka converts. Good response from the Maccabees.
Yosef, when you play a triangle too, there are going to be a lot of open spots on the floor, most notably in the paint, because there's only 1 or 2 guys there. Yair Dovrat and Yoav Oselka did a great job moving off the ball to find some space, and they got a couple buckets to start the half.
Kentrell Evans at the elbow, kicks it to the corner. Now it's Seichin at the wing, 4-3, got it! Robbie Seichin, big 3 for Farmingdale as they continue to try to pull away from the Maccabees. Once again, a 6-point lead for the Rams. Maccabees directing traffic down low. Up top to Dovrat, Yair Dovrat, big 3. Once again, no good. Now 1 of 15 from beyond the arc for the Maccabees as their shooting woes continue. Famous saying, live by the 3, die by the 3. Maccabees right now are dying by it, no doubt. As something's going to have to change from deep if the Maccabees are going to get back into this one. Mike Notias, quick ball movement from Farmingdale. Conroy taking the screen from Evans, pulls up, and that's good from Sean Conroy. As now an 8-point lead for the Rams. Dovrat Oselka, Itzkovich. Zakheim. Maccabees moving the ball around, but not really getting scoring opportunities. Oselka at the wing, 10 seconds. Itzkovich. Oselka hands off to Dovrat. Dovrat going to try to attack the basket. Gets doubled under the hoop. Great find to Oselka. And Yoav Oselka finishes the 2. As the Maccabees once again bring it to within 6. Robbie Seitchin going to get called for an offensive foul. Handing the ball back to the Yeshiva. Seitchin's really had a strong second half thus far, but a mistake from the senior captain, and Seitchin sitting on 3 with over 16 minutes left.
I think this is a really great start for Farmingdale. Obviously the points scored, but it's also who's scoring it. We talked about other guys needing to step up. You have Seitchin and Conroy both making plays early on for Farmingdale. On the other side, Yair Dovrat's been good to start the half. He's got a bucket and an assist. And right there, Yoav Oselka is going to take it to the rack and get fouled. He'll shoot 2 free throws.
Yeah, and once again, like you were saying, with Farmingdale in this interesting system where they're focusing so much of their attention on Samet and Dovrat and some of the other players for the Maccabees, it really leaves a lot of space open in the middle of the floor. And you saw Oselka really take advantage. Buckley couldn't get over in time. Oselka draws the foul. He'll go for 2.
But one thing I think the Rams were doing a great job at in the first half was those players that weren't guarding Dovrat and Samet, they were playing more compressed into the paint to try to limit Oselka and Zakheim and what they can do around the basket, and not really worrying about the shooters, because there really aren't any shooters outside of Samet and Dovrat. That's why the defense is working so well early on in the second half. They've spread out a little bit. They've left a lot of room in the paint, and that's why Yeshiva has had a little bit of success to start the half.
Conroy attacking Zakheim. No good. Bounces around. Taken by Oselka. Throws it forward to Samet. Samet on the break. Going against Seitchin. Over and under. And Zevi Samet once again in transition. That's where he's done a lot of his damage today. Brings it back to within 4.
That's something that both teams are going to have to do now in the second half, is try to push the pace a little bit, try to steal a couple of easy layups. Pushing the pace forces the other team to not have to play half-court defense, which you've struggled against.
Conroy back iron on the 3, taken by Zakheim. Dovrat. Zakheim in the corner. Fans wanted him to shoot. They give it to Zevi. That's his spot. He goes up. Gets it! And the foul! Avery, I know our booth was working on maybe a heat map. I think Zevi Samet may be a 70% shooter from in front of the Maccabees bench.
Yeah, and it also helps when it's potentially the last half of your career. Zevi Samet's been such a special player for Yeshiva, known for his shot making. That was the same spot that he made a big shot last year against Farmingdale, and he's absolutely electrified this crowd. But Yosef, that's one interesting thing to keep in mind, which we haven't mentioned yet, is the importance of this half, because this could be the last for both teams. Neither team has much of a chance at getting into the NCAA tournament if they don't win this game. So such an important 15 minutes coming up for both of these programs, as a lot of their seniors will be graduating and leaving after this year.
Jordan Tucker checking into the game for Farmingdale. Robbie Seitchin taking a seat. That free throw from Samet was the first of the last 12 to go in for the Maccabees, and it's re-electrified this crowd as a 4-point play tied the game for Yeshiva. Mike Notias throws it forward to a wide-open Kentrell Evans. And that's what happens when you hedge the screen. Sometimes the guy is able to slip behind you and find himself in open space. Zevi Samet looking to respond to the Maccabees. Just about 15 minutes to go here in this one. Farmingdale up 2. Yair Dovrat, Jordan Tucker on him. Farmingdale really clogging the paint. Now it's Itzkovich. Thought about the 3. Samet gets it back. Working on Conroy. 6 seconds. 5. Samet pulls. Got it again! Zevi Samet starting to heat up for the Maccabees. And I'm sure Farmingdale's getting flashbacks to last year when it was all Samet in the second half.
Joseph, you know what they say, hand down, man down. There's a great move by Michael Notias. It doesn't go.
As that was a great play by Buckley. Liam Buckley keeping it in, throws it to Tucker, gets the 2 and the foul. Great job from Farmingdale, as all of a sudden the crowd is really back into this one. That's 3rd on Oselka. Something to note, Dotan Mardichev going to check back into the game. Looks like Oselka going to take a seat. He's so crucial for the Maccabees and everything they do, especially down low, especially on number 14, Kentrell Evans, who's really active under the hoop there. Dotan Mardichev now checking back into the game.
Yosef, that stretch was all about the experience of the Rams. An unexperienced team will see that shot go in by Samet and start to break down, have a bad offensive possession, and then it kind of snowballs from that. They regroup, they got an offensive rebound, and a huge and one as they go up by 2.
As now it's Bardachev, recently checked into the game. Evans all the way out to defend him. May create some space in the middle. Back to Samet. Dovrat all by himself, pulls. Yair Dovrat with the 2 points. Once again, a tie game, 38-38.
Yosef, now you see the gravity that I was talking about. Zevi Samet coming off of the screen. Farmingdale had to double him because of how hot he is, and that left Dovrat wide open.
Max Zakheim lost his balance, got it back. Evans down low, working on Bardachev. Evans going up, too strong, grabs his own rebound, stripped away. Zevi Samet taking it the other way. Itzkovich in the fast break, going up, blocked from behind, but that's going to be a foul on Liam Buckley, sending Roy Itzkovich to the line for 2.
And I think the way Buckley reacted, I think he knew that he got the arm on that one. How about the pass from Zevi Samet? Roy was not open. He was behind the defense. Zevi put it in the only place possible for the defense to not get the steal. And now a chance for Yeshiva to take the lead. And partner, it's just crazy. We saw the first half how inefficient these teams were, the defense and all the aggressiveness and physicality. And now it seems like the floodgates have opened. Both teams starting to put their best foot forward and scoring some points.
Itzkovich connects on the first, giving the Maccabees the lead. It's time to answer tonight's trivia question. Our question was, outside of Yeshiva and Farmingdale State, who was the last team to win the Skyline Conference? The correct answer is the Old Westbury Panthers back in 2017. As it's been all Farmingdale State and Yeshiva for the last 8 seasons in the Skyline Conference.
Yosef, we talked about at halftime the inefficiency from Yeshiva, only shooting 32% from the field. But now they're 6 for their last 7 from the field. They've absolutely woken up.
As that's going to be a full timeout from Coach Toomey and the Rams, wanting to talk things over. Feels that momentum is somewhat with Yeshiva, and we're going to send it down to our sideline reporter, Zachary Sicklick, standing by. Zach, take it away.
Thank you, Yosef. While I'm here today, over the last bunch of years since COVID, this spot belonged to the man himself, Mr. Sideline Suits, S.J. Tannenbaum. S.J. had a wonderful tenure here, calling 3 Skyline Championship games, 2 NCAA tournament games, and overall a lot of amazing memories. He is now in Sims. He also has social media, and he's the CEO of Sideline Suits Media. Today, however, he now embraces a different role. He is now the PA announcer for our Max, and he's giving us all the information we need, hyping up the crowd, and making sure the fan base is into it. We wish him the best of luck as he is killing it out there. And let's go Max down the stretch. Back to you in the booth.
Thank you for that, Zach. Obviously, a man of many different talents is S.J. Tannenbaum. 13:44 to go. Yeshiva up 2. And it's really just been a back and forth second half and what's been a really great game from both sides.
I think you see the main difference maker in this game is the game-breaking talent that Zevi Samet is. You know, partner, I think momentum is a real thing. And when you see those shots go in that Zevi Samet had, those back-to-back three-pointers, I think it really gives you something to rely on. And as we get down the stretch, his shot making is going to be a major story to who wins this game.
Liam Buckley, now Mike Notias. That's Sean Conroy working on Zakheim. 6 seconds, goes up. No good, tipped in. I don't know if that was Buckley or Evans. They're going to say that was Buckley on the tip, tying the game for Farmingdale. Dotan Bardichev. Maccabees getting settled in their offense. Screen for Dovrat, and now it's Bardichev. Samet with the on-ball screen from Dotan. Zevi Samet working on Jordan Tucker. In, out, corner, back inside to Dovrat. Pass tipped away by Sean Conroy. Farmingdale now in the break. Mike Notias moving inside on Bardichev, kicks it out. Buckley. Conroy, 3. In and out. Flying Jordan Tucker to grab the offensive rebound. Now it's Conroy again, same spot, and this time it's a different result. Sean Conroy hits the 3, bringing Farmingdale 3 points ahead.
Again, it's the offensive rebounding for Farmingdale. They got 11 now on the game to Yeshiva 6. I think that's been the difference for them. and it's what's kept them in this game.
Yair Dovrat, top of the key. Zakheim feels like every possession at this point is so crucial. Bardachev, a three, got it! Dotan Bardachev as the floodgates have opened from deep for the Maccabees.
Dotan's going to have that shot all night long if he wants, with how the defense of Farmingdale is set up. Dotan a massive three, and this game is now tied with 12 minutes to go.
Yeah, and that's huge for Bardachev, having started the game 0 of 3 from deep to finally get one. Hopefully he can string a couple together. As Notias moving inside, great play from Michael Notias to get the basket. 45-43, Farmingdale State leads. As it's Zakheim now for Yeshiva. Stanley and Seichin look to check into the game for the Rams at the next dead ball. Itzkovich, Samit, almost a stolen, wide open three, got it! Zevi Samit connects again from deep. And once again, hot potatoing the lead. Yeshiva with it back, 46-45. Mike Notias, now Conroy. Conroy gonna move in, Conroy going up. No good, and that's gonna be a foul from behind on Samit against Buckley. I believe actually they're gonna call that on Dotan Bardachev. It's gonna be Yeshiva's fourth. I think the official called it on 25, Noam Edry, who's not on the floor, so we'll see who it actually was. And they're going to call it on Dotan Bardachev, number 22. That's his second, team fourth.
Yosef, one thing to note with the offensive rebound that we've been talking about is Yoav Oselka. Remember, he's got 3 fouls. He's in foul trouble right now. You wonder when Coach Steinmetz is going to have to put him back in the game to try to counterbalance some of the rebounding that Farmingdale is able to secure.
And right on cue. Oselka back into the game, but interestingly enough, I would have assumed that they'd wait to put him back in when Evans is on the floor. But Evans all for 4 for Farmingdale. Oselka still in the game. Great job by Zakheim fighting for the rebound, as now it's Samit. Zevi Samit staring down Sean Conroy. Gives it up top to Dovrat. Yair Dovrat, now Oselka. Dotan Bardachev, hands off to Samit. Flying three, no good. That almost looks similar to last year. Gets it back, wide open onto the hoop. And Zevi Samit connects for 2.
Yosef, that was all Max Zakheim on that one with that tip. The rebound, he's been so good on the boards this season, with averaging 5 a game. And at his size, that's such an advantage for this Yeshiva team.
Robbie Seichin, stolen by Zakheim. Zakheim taking it the other way. It's a foot race. Zakheim goes up, gets the layup. Bunch of straight points for Yeshiva. Timeout, Coach Toomey. And Max Zakheim hyping up the crowd. 10-14 remaining. Yeshiva 50, Farmingdale State 45. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Hey Max fans, it's Joseph Gittler, founder and chairman of Leket Israel and proud YU graduate. Thanks for all your support over the years. If you're headed to Israel, please come and volunteer with us. We need your help so we can serve hundreds of thousands of needy Israelis every week. And of course, go Max!
As we see a replay of that last play, the fast break bucket from Zakheim as he won a foot race with Robbie Seichin, known as the Red Rocket for a reason, and forcing the timeout from Toomey, hyping up the crowd. As 50-45 during the commercial break, we heard some Misha Nechnas Adar chants already from the Maccabees fans. As we know, the Macs play their best in Adar. And it'll be the same 5 for the Maccabees: Zakheim, Samit, Bardachev, Oselka, and Yair Dovrat. As Farmingdale breaks the huddle, looks to be Mike Notias, Seichin, Stanley, Tucker, and Conroy. I saw Sean Conroy at halftime. Asked him about his ankle. He said he's doing well. So we're thankful that he's feeling okay. Let's go Max chant from the crowd as it's Mike Notias taking it down. Defense chants. Notias looking down, Yair Dovrat. Seichin flips it back to Notias. ISO with Samit. Mike Notias, shake and bake, moving in, pulls and gets it. Great job by Mike Notias. Zakheim and Dovrat got tied up for Yeshiva. Max Zakheim with the ball. Defense chance now from the Farmingdale bench. Zakheim working on Notias. Now to Oselka. Yair Dovrat moving in on Robbie Seichin. Goes up. And they're going to get Yair Dovrat for an offensive foul, as it looked like he made some contact with Robbie Seitchen moving in.
Yair Dovrat extended the arm on that one, as you'll see on the replay. It's absolutely an offensive foul. He had some good couple possessions coming out at the timeout for Farmingdale. Another adjustment Coach Toomey made. He puts in more of a defensive-centric lineup. But now Jordan Tucker, number 24, tasked with guarding Zevi Samet. We saw Conroy struggle a little bit. Maybe it's the ankle. Tucker.
As Zakon takes away the pass. Fast break. 1-2. Oselka up. Couldn't get it. Who's got the rebound? It's Samet. Turn around. And Zevi Samet converts in the fast break. Great awareness from the Maccabees. And who else but Zevi Samet grabbing the rebound and putting it back in.
Zevi Samet now at 25 points on 10 for 15 shooting. The best player in the Skyline Conference has come to play.
Robbie Seitchen moving in now. Zevi Samet stops him in his tracks. That's pull up from Tucker. No good. Rebound Oselka. Maccabees up 5, 52-47. About 8:45 to go. Yair Dovrat right wing. Gonna move inside. Goes up. And Yair Dovrat connects for 2. Giving Yeshiva a 7-point lead. Sean Conroy now taking it down for the Rams. They got to get something going on offense. They've been really quiet over the past couple of minutes. Conroy. Now Oselka all over him. Down low to Stanley. Up top Tucker. Wide open 3. And Tucker connects. Makes the Maccabees pay for leaving him that open. Brings it to within 4. Dotan Bardichev for the Maccabees. Oselka. And now Zakon picks it up. Samet. Space. 3. Front iron. It's funny when he puts it up, everyone gets quiet, just assuming it's going to go in. Couldn't convert that time. That's now Sean Conroy attacking the basket. Bounces Zakheim. Fans maybe wanted an offensive foul. Stanley with the offensive rebound. Seitchen inside. And 1 for Robbie Seitchen. As he gives Farmingdale the opportunity to break, pull it within 1, and the fans letting the officials hear it.
I think the fans are more mad about that rebound, that offensive rebound by Stanley. They think it was an over the back. Stanley barely made contact with Zakheim on that one, so I thought it was the right call. But how about these role players for the Rams? Stanley with the offensive rebounds. Tucker's got 10 points on 4 for 6 shooting. Incredible defense by him. And then Robbie Seitchen, a pair of and ones here in the second half, and a chance to convert it to a 3-point play.
No good from Robbie Seitchen, staying to within 2. Max Zakheim now for Yeshiva. Oselka. Hands off to Zakheim. Bardichev thought about the 3. Bardichev gets it back. Once again, didn't want to pull the trigger. 10 seconds to go. Dovrat with the screen. That's a 3 from Dotan. And Dotan Bardichev, absolute cash from deep. Timeout, Coach Steinmetz. Yeshiva up 5, 7:21 remaining.
Yeah, huge shot from Dotan. Again, we talked about this defense, the way it's structured. Dotan is going to have his chances. Hits a huge contested 3 to bring the lead back up to 5 for Yeshiva.
And with that full timeout, we are going to send it to a quick commercial break. Don't go anywhere.
Hey Max fans, it's Joseph Gittler, founder and chairman of Leket Israel and proud YU graduate. Thanks for all your support over the years. If you're headed to Israel, please come and volunteer with us. We need your help so we can serve hundreds of thousands of needy Israelis every week. And of course, go Max!
Welcome back into the Max Stern Athletic Center. 7:21 remaining. 57-52. Yeshiva Maccabees lead the Farmingdale State Rams. Yosef Silver, Avery Stebner with you in the booth. And, you know, we talked a lot about at halftime, Maccabees went into the half 1 of 14 from deep, but they've come alive over the last couple minutes in the second half.
Yeah, it's been mainly their 2 top guys. It's Yair Dovrat and what he's done as a distributor of the basketball, and it's Zevi Samet and what he's able to do just shooting. Zevi Samet shooting 4 for 9 from 3-point range, so he's been efficient today. On the other side, the Rams have had a multitude of role players step up for them. Robbie Seitchen, Jordan Tucker, guys we mentioned, Kentrell Evans, and that has really kept them in the game. And now a huge stretch coming up with 7 minutes to go and a 5-point lead for the Macs.
Mike Notias taking it down for Farmingdale. Attacks the basket. Going on the layup. And Yair Dovrat going to get called for a foul. That's 7 on Yeshiva, meaning Farmingdale will be shooting the rest of the way. That's Dovrat's second.
Yeah, one thing Notias does so well is his speed, his straight line speed to the basket. So if you give him a little bit of room, he'll blow by you. Then you got no choice but to foul. Notias hasn't had such an efficient day shooting, only 3 for 12, but his impact and what he's been able to do just creating offense for his team has been really important for them. He's now their leading scorer with 11.
Yeah, Mike Notias heading into the game a 71% shooter. Interestingly enough, only 45% in his career against Yeshiva from the line, but connects on the first. Max Stern Athletic Center getting loud for the second. Dribbles, up, and in. Mike Notias once again, 2 for 2 from the line. Bringing it to within 3. It's now a 1-possession game, 7 minutes remaining. As this one has been an absolute doozy. That's a 3 from Dotan. Triple! Dotan Bardachev has caught fire here in this second half. Extends the lead to 6 for the Maccabees. Mike Notias, Oselka Hedges goes back. Notias flying inside. And, you know, Mike Notias standing at 5'11", he's done such a great job attacking the basket, really getting good looks and creating opportunities for himself down low. Max Zackheim for Yeshiva. Now it's Oselka in the high post. Samit. So dangerous. Pulls. Front iron again. Rebound by Oselka. Great job fighting for the offensive glass. And the Max will get a fresh 20. Yair Dovrat calling for a screen. Gets it from Oselka. Now throws it back inside. Had Kentrell Evans turned around. And great job by the Israelis to get 2 points for the Max. YU now up 6 once again with 6 to go.
Such a gifted passer. That passing lane open because he moved his head to face the corner and threw a no-look pass. Absolutely had Evans confused. And there's a smart play by Notias, throwing it off to Oselka's foot, and they'll retain possession with 14 to go on the shot clock.
Yeah, great defense there from Yoav Oselka, really locking Notias into that sideline. As it will be Sean Conroy to inbound. Conroy, Buckley, Evans, Notias, Seichin for Farmingdale, Zackheim, Oselka, Dovrat, Bardachev, and Samit for Yeshiva. Conroy, up top to Seichin, that's a 3. Front iron, bounces around, Seichin grabs his own rebound in the corner. Pass taken away by Zackheim. Samit on the break, one-on-one with Notias, goes up and draws a foul. And the Skyline's #1 free throw shooter will head to the line with 5.5 to go, up 6.
Yeah, and something to note, that's going to be Notias' third foul, as you'll see on the replay. And obviously, Coach Struby's not going to take him out of the game, considering he's one of the best players in the conference. But something to monitor, especially as time goes on, and Farmingdale State might have to think about fouling potentially in that situation at the end of the game.
Samit connects on the first. So now 63-56, Yeshiva lead. He's up to 26. Second one doesn't go. 26 points now for Samit. 7-point lead for the Maccabees. 5.5 remaining. This game is far from over. Sean Conroy takes the screen from Evans, goes inside, can't get it. Bounces around, taken by Zevi. Samit now up to 4 rebounds on the day for Yeshiva to go along with 4 assists. Dovrat. Right wing, up over to Bardichev, who can't handle the pass. He had the smaller Notias, but couldn't grab the ball as it goes out of bounds. Farmingdale will get another possession. Yeah, here's Dovrat now amping up the crowd, trying to lock in on defense. As, like we've been saying, every possession at this point in the game is absolutely crucial. Every stop, every basket makes such a difference on the final score. Mike Notias now over to Conroy. Evans setting up a screen. Conroy doubled in on the baseline. Corner, Seichin, 3. In and out. Rebound taken, Oselka. Dovrat to push. One-on-one with Notias. Dovrat attacks the basket, goes up. Yeah, here's Dovrat in the fast break. 9-point lead for Yeshiva. Timeout, Brendan Toomey, coach Farmingdale. Full timeout for Brendan Toomey and Farmingdale with 4:44 remaining here in this one. Coach Toomey may be feeling that, this guy's got to wake up now or never.
Yeah, and it's really been on the offensive end. They've gone stagnant here. They tried a couple sets to try to get Robbie Seitchen some looks. He hasn't been able to convert. Also, Sean Conroy, the guy we highlighted pregame, he's shooting 3 for 15 from field goal range. So he just hasn't shown up today on the efficiency side of things. On the other side, Yair Dobrod has really stepped up. He's got 12 points. He's got 6 assists. So that secondary option has really worked in Yeshiva's favor. It's allowed them to pull ahead here by 9 with 4:44 to go. If you're Coach Toomey in your timeout, I think now you tell your team it's now or never. This is your career. This is your basketball life on the line here. You got to bring some pressure. Maybe they look to press. They got to find something to create some chaos, get some turnovers, and try to find some momentum.
Yeah, and you were talking about some of the leaders for Yeshiva. We talk about senior captains making such a difference. Max Zackheim, maybe not on the final score sheet, only 6 points, but 7 rebounds, 4 assists, 4 steals for the Red Rocket of Yeshiva. Points off turnovers, Yeshiva 20 points off of turnovers, Farmingdale only with 10. Yeshiva currently up 9, 6-5, 5-6 is the score, as it'll be Conroy to inbound for Farmingdale in the backcourt. Once again, same 5 both ways. Conroy, Notias, Buckley, Tucker, Evans for the Maccabees, Zackheim, Bardachev, Samet, Oselka, and Dobrod. Hand off to Conroy. Conroy pulls and lands the bucket. Sean Conroy, quick points for Farmingdale. Under 4.5 to go. Let's go Max chant from the fans here in the Max Stern Athletic Center. Inside to Samet. Great pass from Dotan Bardachev. And Zevi Samet now up to 28 on the day. And like you were saying, big-time players make big-time plays in big-time moments. And you just knew after what was a little bit of a lackluster first half, Zevi Samet was going to show up down the stretch. Another steal from Zackheim. He's up to 5. It's a foot race with Conroy. Zackheim couldn't connect. And Dotan Bardachev going to get called for the foul, as he may have caught Evans up high. Evans gathering himself. He'll head to the line as the Maccabees up to 8 fouls. That's number 4 on Dotan Bardachev. Maybe Coach Steinmetz looks to one of the guys on the bench, maybe Roy Itzkovich. But I think at this point, with all the momentum they've been having, maybe you keep Dotan Bardachev in the game. He's been doing such a great job.
Yeah, this lineup has really put in a good shift for Yeshiva's offense and defense, respectively. Henry Evans, a huge 2 free throws coming up. He's shooting 63% from the line on the season. This is maybe the biggest free throws of his life, you'll see.
As the junior from Brooklyn stares down the hoop for a 1-and-1, and Kentrell Evans connects. That's a big basket for Farmingdale. Now an 8-point lead, 67 for Yeshiva, 59 for Farmingdale, just under 4 minutes remaining.
Yosef, you wonder if Coach Toomey is going to tell his team to press coming out of this free throw if he makes it, because they'll be in position to do so.
As the basket is good, Evans going to head to the bench. Robbie Seitchen heading in. And right on cue, Farmingdale sending a bunch of guys to the front court. Maybe not a full press, but definitely some pressure in the backcourt, trying to speed up this Max offense. As the pass is thrown away, tipped by Notias, Yeshiva will inbound, 22 seconds remaining on the shot clock.
Looks like Farmingdale has ramped up their off-ball defensive pressure, trying to take away those passing lanes. Might be a good time for a back cut, especially for a guy like Samet, where they're so worried about the shooters.
Samet right in front of Coach Steinmetz. It's pretty deep. I don't know if we'll pull it from here. Working on Tucker, keep backing up. 5 seconds, 4, Samet, 3. Too strong. As the rebound is taken by Buckley, now Conroy going the other way, under 3.5 to go. Sean Conroy working on Samet, tipped, taken by Bardachev. That's going to be a foul on Sean Conroy. Farmingdale now up to 16. I believe that's 4 on Sean Conroy. Excuse me, that's only 2, my bad, on Conroy. 3:17 to go. And now the Maccabees will be shooting free throws the rest of the way, with that being Farmingdale's 6th.
Yosef, the difference of this game, especially the second half, has been the turnovers, the steals. Yeshiva with 12 steals, Farmingdale with 2. Farmingdale with 14 turnovers, Yeshiva with 8. They've just had more possessions offensively.
Samet, 3. Yes! Zevi Samet from the corner, off balance. 10-point lead. Under 3 minutes to go. 70-60. Taken away by Bardachev. Jump ball, Yeshiva. As that will stay Farmingdale's way. Great defensive effort from Dotan Bardachev, not picking up his 5th foul. It'll be a jump ball, and Farmingdale will have possession.
Yosef, it's been everyone contributing for the Macs here. Salmon with the elite shot making. He's got 31 points. And let me tell you something, that is not an easy shot. Falling away in the corner, absolutely ridiculous. How about Dotan Bardachev with his impact defensively? That's a couple of huge steals and jump ball forced over the past couple minutes. Time is running out for the Rams.
As it's Jordan Tucker, now Robbie Seichin, the captain for the Rams, Mike Notias. Into the corner for Buckley. Buckley, a 40% shooter, can't connect. Rebound taken by Zachheim. Samet gonna get it over the timeline. Sees all the open space, challenges Notias, ball poked away, but that'll stay Yeshiva ball.
And now when you got a 10-point lead with 2:30 left, it starts to become time where you try to bleed some of the clock off of your Yeshiva, run your motion offense, take 30 seconds off the clock, and just limit the amount of possessions Farmingdale has left to try to come back in this game.
And I'd imagine we see a lot of pressure and physicality from the Rams in these last 2 minutes. Loose ball taken by Dovrat. Now Samet, another 3. Got it! Zevi Samet, he just can't miss. 73-60, 13-point lead for the Maccabees. 2:10 to go. And it's getting late early for Farmingdale. Blocked by Dotan. As SJ Tenenbaum would say, it's a Barty block party. Down low, and Coach Elliot Steinmetz looks to challenge as he makes the official call. We talked about replay at halftime with head referee Mel Chedda, and Coach Steinmetz will challenge as to whether that ball went out of bounds off of Dotan or off of Michael Notias.
Yeah, off the replay, it looks like it might have gone off Notias and partner. You know, we've been calling Zevi Samet's games over the past 3 years. We've said a lot about him. At this point, there are no more words. The shots he's making are just absolutely ridiculous. There may not be another player in all of Division III basketball that can make the same shots that he's putting up right now. It's been such a pleasure to watch, and he's absolutely taken over the championship game. He's got 34 points and some crazy, crazy three-pointers.
Yeah, Zevi had 37 in last year's championship against Farmingdale, up to 34 already with 2 to go. And, you know, I was talking to one of his trainers, and he was mentioning to me how, you know, it's not just the work that Zevi puts in the gym, getting up shots. It's not just the work he puts in during the season, but all the drills he runs in the off season, you know, when no one's watching, no one's even thinking about Maccabees. I mean, we're always thinking about Maccabees basketball, but no one's thinking about Maccabees basketball, you know, June, July, August. And Zevi Samet just grinding out, was working through an injury in the off season, really put in the effort. And, you know, what a senior season. He broke the Maccabees single game scoring record. He broke the all-time scoring record. He broke the all-time threes record. He's up to 34 points in the championship game. I mean, there's not much to say, even off the court with everything he's done. As we get another look at this, referee's still looking at it. We're about to get the call on the floor from the officials as they continue to talk. But not much more to say. Senior captain Zevi Samet doing it all.
Joseph, on the other side, Farmingdale coming out of the timeout. You know, obviously if it's their ball, they're going to have a play ready. But defensively, it's time to start trapping. They're probably going to go to a full court press. They're going to gamble, try to get some steals. And it looks like ball is going to retain with Farmingdale. So this is a key inbounds play to try to steal a bucket. But you have to trap. You have to gamble. If Yeshiva gets by you and gets an open layup, so be it. But now's the time where you amp up the speed to 100%. And you hope for a miracle if you're the Rams. Now down 13 with 2:05 to go.
As the Yeshiva student section right at the front of the gym going crazy off camera. But definitely the Max fans today came out to support their guys. Up top to Seichin. Dotan tried to close out. Seichin, 3, got it. That's a great response from Farmingdale, cutting the lead to within 10. Zachheim gets it back, and now it's Dovrat. Need to get it over the timeline, working on Seichin. And he does, as the Maccabees will now go into some kind of chew clock mode. A little bit of a dangerous pass to Zachheim. Zachheim gets past the defense, kicks it to the corner to Samet. Ball bounced around, Dovrat taking it safely. 10 seconds on the shot clock. Up top to Oselka, now Dovrat. 7 on the shot clock. 6, 5, handoff, Samet. Another jumper. Front iron, no good. And Osaka fighting for the rebound, picked up by Dovrat. Another possession for the Max, forcing a foul from Robbie Seichin. 1:23 to go, 10-point lead for Yeshiva.
Yosef, down the stretch, Yeshiva has just won with the little things. Obviously, you have the flashy Zevi Salmon plays. They've gotten steals, they've gotten deflections, they've gotten offensive rebounds, and now Yair Dovrat's going to head to the line. Chance to make it a double-digit lead.
Dovrat to shoot 1 and 1 off the foul. That's Seichin's 4th. Puts it up. And the free throw is true from Yair Dovrat. Now an 11-point lead for the Maccabees, 1:23 to go. And whether this is a make or a miss, Farmingdale is going to have to move quickly to get back into this one with such little time remaining. Dovrat connects on the second. Notias picks it up, 1:20 left to go. Notias right away attacking, takes a screen from Seichin, kicks to the corner for Conroy. That's a 3. And Sean Conroy connects for Farmingdale. Now a 9-point lead. Farmingdale with full court press. Interesting, they're letting Zakheim kind of take it up the floor. I would have liked to see a little bit more pressure from Farmingdale there. As now it's Samet, and the Maccabees will kind of just let the clock run. I wonder at what point you foul if you're Farmingdale.
Yeah, you got to at least strap, and they're going to do so right now.
Now,
Zevi Salmon smartly calling a timeout. You don't have time to just play off and try to get a stop defensively. You need a steal with 53 seconds left. There's just not enough time for you to come back if you're Farmingdale. But a smart timeout by Zevi Salmon. Now with 11 seconds left, it'd be interesting to see if Farmingdale now looks to foul and send Yeshiva to the line, or if they just take the 11 seconds off the clock and get a stop and not allow Yeshiva to get a couple extra points.
Yeshiva, 2 more timeouts. Farmingdale State with 1. And it was interesting, you saw Robbie Seichin coming over to defend Zevi Samet. Even if the game plan was to foul at that point, Robbie Seichin cannot be the guy to do it. One more foul will knock him out for the rest of the game.
Yeah, but partner, I think at this point, if you're Seichin, you still got to foul him. You just don't have enough time. It'll also be interesting to see who they try to foul. Obviously, you don't want to foul Max Zakheim, Zevi Samet. They're the best free throw shooters on his team. Maybe it's Roy, maybe it's Dotan.
Yeah, Roy Itzkovich coming off the bench. In for Yoavo Selka. As the ball goes to Zakheim. Zakheim gets attacked by Seichin. Stolen away by Farmingdale. That's going to be a foul on Zakheim, but I think you take that if you're the Maccabees.
I think if you're Farmingdale, that also works to your favor. First of all, a great trap, well executed. Robbie Seichin's able to come up with a loose ball, and now he's going to go to the line to shoot 2 free throws. But more importantly, the clock stops. So you don't have to dribble down the court and put up a shot. You get 2 free throws, clock stops, and if you make both, now you have a chance to set up your full court press if you're Farmingdale to try to force another steal. But it will be a 1-and-1 for the Rams.
Maccabees now up to 19 fouls. That's 2 for Zakheim. Big free throw from Seichin. No good.
Now you got to foul, Yosef.
Dovrat with the ball. Tucker in defense. Seichin attacks. And it's going to be a foul on Jordan Tucker as Yair Dovrat, fresh off a 2 of 2 trip, is headed back to the line.
Yair Dovrat, a 75% free throw shooter on the season. This is what it all comes down to. Can you close the game with your free throws? If you're Farmingdale, you just don't have enough time left if Yeshiva's making these.
First one's up from Dovrat and good. And, you know, I don't want to draw parallels too early, but we saw in our opening broadcast, our opening game for the Maccabees against Chapman, how their free throw shooting really killed them down the stretch in that game. And a much more mature Maccabees team a few months later, as right on cue, Dovrat misses the free throw, but they've been much better from the line today. And that's really been the difference. Quick 3 from Conroy. No good. Rebound taken by Bardachev. 30 seconds remaining. Yair Dovrat with the ball. They're going to try to get it to Zevi Samet, and they do. And Buckley's going to foul Samet as the Skyline's #1 free throw shooter going to head to the line. 26.6 to go. And the Maccabees starting to taste victory in this one. It's going to be a 1-and-1 for Samet. Misha and Efnasal, our chants continue from the Maccabees fans.
And now it's about the time where the MVP chants start raining down in the Max Stern Athletic Center.
First one from Samet, rare miss. As Samet still at 34 points, goes across to Seichin. Quick trigger 3, back iron, rebound, Seichin. Notai is deep three, goes to the corner. Conroy, three, in and out and in. 13.2 to go. 7-point lead for the Maccabees. And I wonder if it may be a little bit too little too late for Farmingdale as they're down 3 possessions with 13 to go.
Yeah, but how about the defensive execution down the stretch? The awareness defensively for the Macs to know that Farmingdale is trying to shoot a 3. And because of that awareness, they've kind of played Farmingdale's offense off of the 3-point line and forced them to make a couple extra passes. And a lot of time has run off the clock.
13.2 remaining. Coach Toomey talking to his guys. Coach Steinmetz reassuring the team, just stay calm, hit your free throws, be disciplined. And this is, definitely within reach. 76-69. It's been such a good back and forth game between the two titans of the Skyline Conference. It was so key. We talked about in that game on January 24th, getting the home court advantage, right? That likely the winner of that game was going to get home court advantage in the championship of the Skyline Conference, right? Farmingdale's only Skyline loss was to Yeshiva on January 24th, and clearly the home court advantage has been huge for the Maccabees as tickets sold out in 3 minutes. We thank you for joining us if you weren't able to grab a ticket yourself, as now it's Samet, 12 seconds, 11, gets fouled by Tucker as he reaches the timeline. And Samet going to go to the line now for 2. Sean Conroy being picked up by his teammates. Dealing with some nagging injuries. It's been tough for Conroy. He's been fighting through.
Joseph, you got to give a lot of credit to this Farmingdale team. For a lot of these seniors, talk about Notias, Conroy, this is going to be their last game, most likely. This game out of reach. But such a special group. They've really accomplished a lot over the past 4 years. They've been the class of the Skyline Conference, and a lot of respect goes out to the Rams.
Samet 2 of 2, now up to 36 points. MVP chance rain down in the Max Stern Athletic Center. 10 seconds, 8 seconds, 5. Notias, they give him the lane. Corner, Conroy 3, and that's good. 2.4 to go. 78-72. Dobrot moving around, gets the ball into Zackheim. Quick foul from Farmingdale. 1.3 to go. Fans don't like it. I think they don't have a choice for Farmingdale. I mean, this is the end. As Max Zackheim, the Red Rocket senior captain, transferred over from Bryant State after his freshman year. After a redshirt year at Bryant, tasted the NCAA tournament with that legendary Bryant State team. And now for the second time, we'll be tasting the D3 NCAA tournament with the Yeshiva University Maccabees. Zackheim cannot connect on the first. 78-72 remains the score. 1.3 to go. Zackheim gets the ball back. Dribbles, shoots, and that one lands. 1.3 to go. And Farmingdale will just dribble it out. As for the second consecutive season, the Yeshiva University Maccabees are kings of the Skyline Conference. And the Maccabees will march on to the madness as they take the Skyline Conference crown, bringing it back to the heights for the second straight season. Fans starting to storm the court. Players being classy, want to high-five the Rams first. And obviously just a great season from both sides. Obviously Yeshiva still undefeated in the conference as Coach Toomey and Zevi Samet share a moment in the handshake line. But just an unbelievable game, and for Farmingdale State as well. Just such an incredible season. Their only 2 losses came to Yeshiva. One game where even they would tell you was kind of a stinker on a Saturday night back in January, and this one, valiant effort back and forth between the two teams. Really great seasons both ways. But it will be Yeshiva moving on to the NCAA tournament. And once again, off the back of Zevi. And it's just been incredible here in the Max Stern Athletic Center to see these guys haven't lost the game in the Skyline Conference, finish the undefeated season for just the second time in school history. Obviously the last time that happened, 2019-2020 season where the Maccabees made the Sweet 16 before it was ultimately canceled for COVID. As we're going to get a team celebration in the middle, they're already bringing out the nets and the ladder and the scissors to cut down the nets. And just Avery, what are your thoughts on what's been an incredible season? Was an incredible game today in the Skyline Conference Championship between two great rivals, great teams.
Yosef, this game perfectly encapsulated Yeshiva's season. Yeshiva started off with a really tough non-conference schedule, going 1-8 in that stretch. Their lone win going against NYU. They've lost a lot of games, some of them by a lot of points, and a lot of teams would have been dissuaded by that. They would have, they would have shaken their confidence, but not this Max team. This Max team persevered. They were resilient. They fought through it, and they ended up blowing through the Skyline Conference, going 16-0, and then an awesome postseason run that culminates in getting the Skyline Trophy. Then you look at today, Yosef. Farmingdale starts off hot. Their defense is killing the Max. The Max offense playing the worst it's played all season long. Maybe the worst it's played throughout this group's 4-year stretch at the school. But in the second half, they came alive. Zevi Salmon was electric. Yari Dovrat made plays. Dotan had a bunch of big threes. And you can go on and on about this group. The resiliency today, the resilience throughout the season, it's almost poetic.
Yeah, and as they huddle in the middle for one final time in this gym, for so many of them, Max Zakheim, Zevi Samit, Roy Itzkovich, Dotan Bardichev, Hillel Benash, Ari Shklar, and Tom Beza, their last memories in this gym will be cutting the nets, and I think that's exactly how those guys drew it up. As just go into the leaders for today, Zevi Samit led the way for the Maccabees, 34 points for Yeshiva, 15 points from Yair Dovrat, 9 from Dotan Bardichev. Max Zakheim led the way on the rebounding end with 8 rebounds, 7 for Yoav Oselka, 6 assists for Yair Dovrat, 4 assists apiece for Samit and Zakheim, and 5 steals. Just an unbelievable performance. We talk a lot about, scoring, and obviously Zevi gets a lot of his flowers for that, but Max Zakheim just brings so much to this team, not just from an energy standpoint, but you could tell he's really the engine. He's what makes his team click. He always gets the tough matchups defensively. He's so locked in. He's so focused. And just another unbelievable performance from the Red Rocket.
And it's not just the stuff he does on the court. Max Zakheim, definitely the leader of this team off the court as well as Zevi Samit, who we've talked about. But Max is the one that's organizing some of the training sessions, getting his team in line. He's always in the gym. I mean, if you're a student at Yeshiva University, you know that every time you walk into the Max Stern Athletic Center, Max Zakheim is here, and he's training and he's working out. And what an impressive individual, and he absolutely deserves another Skyline championship.
Yeah, and just looking for Farmingdale, their leaders, they were led by Sean Conroy, 16 points for him, 14 for Notias, 13 for Robbie Seichin, as the seniors really leading the way for the Rams and what is their last game as Division III athletes and basketball players. 10 rebounds for Kentrell Evans, 9 for Liam Buckley, 5 for Dylan Stanley, who was electric off the bench for the Rams, 4 assists for Notias, 3 apiece for Buckley and Dylan Stanley, 2 steals for Conroy, 2 blocks for Kentrell Evans. And really it was just a back and forth game. Finishes 79-72. And just an incredible two-way game, an incredible season. What a close to what's been, the last year of this group of Maccabees. I remember the end of the Terrell days when there was a lot of uncertainty headed in. They were talking about some new guys maybe coming in the shadows, but how are they going to be able to pave the way in the wake of Ryan Terrell and Gabe Leifer, Ofek Reef, Eitan Halpert, even further back, Donnie Katz, Simcha Halpert. How are the Maccabees going to be able to rebound losing those guys? And Zevi Samit, Max Zakheim really leading the way. Oselka over the past couple of years. This year, Yair Dovrat, Matan Zucker in the beginning played a huge part for the Maccabees. And it's just been an unbelievable stretch for this group of Macs.
And Yosef, just to piggyback on that last point, a lot of people are probably asking the same questions now. It's like, what do you do going forward if you're Farmingdale State or Yeshiva, losing all these seniors? But I think it's safe to say, I'm using the Robbie Steichen quote again, this is the class of the Skyline Conference. These are the last, now 9 winners of the Skyline Conference since Old Westbury did it, 10 years ago. And you just have to assume that both these coaches, with the program they built, the infrastructure that's there, these 2 teams will be back in the mix next season. We'll see if they make it back for episode 4 of, I guess not the trilogy now, it would be a whole entire series but these programs losing a lot going forward. But you have to expect to be back in the mix next year with how these coaches and have built this program.
As we're soon going to get the trophy presentation, players going to grab their T-shirts as just such a triumphant moment for these Yeshiva University Maccabees. You see the seniors in the front, Roy, Hillel, Tom Beza, Ari Shklar, all smiles as, kind of the heart and soul guy for this team. And just such a good season from these guys. A lot of seniors like we were talking about, but, Yoav Oselka set to return. Yair Dovrat, the freshman sensation, going to take more of a leadership role next year as well. Some exciting guys in the mix. Joe Shanzer showed a lot of flashes this year. Nate Jacobs was a nice piece. Johnny Dan is a nice piece. I'm sure Coach Steinmetz has got some more recruits cooked up, as we know he does such a great job with recruiting. But really now it's all about this 25-26 Maccabees roster and what they've achieved and what they've accomplished in their 4 years in the Max Stern Athletic Center.
And Yosef, it's important to also highlight Coach Steinmetz himself and the coaching job he's done this season. Obviously we can go game by game, but specifically today, it was a tough first half for them, but he made a lot of adjustments at halftime, specifically on the offensive end. And Yeshiva had their best when their best was needed most. So great job by Coach Steinmetz.
We're going to send it down to the PA for the trophy presentation. Stay tuned.
We begin by recognizing our 2026 Skyline Conference runner-up, the Farmingdale State College Rams. Congratulations to the Rams on an outstanding season and a strong performance in today's championship match. And now, it's time to recognize our 2026 Skyline Conference men's basketball champions, the Yeshiva University Maccabees. Congratulations to the Maccabees on capturing the Skyline title. Before we conclude today's ceremony, we'd like to honor one individual for their exceptional play throughout the championship. The 2026 Skyline Conference Men's Basketball Championship Most Outstanding Player is Max Zakai. Congratulations once again to both programs on an excellent championship, and thank you to all of our student athletes, coaches, administrators, and fans for your support all season.
Here in the Max Stern Athletic Center, Yosef Silver, Avery Stepner with you. Senior captains for the Yeshiva University Maccabees, Zevi Samet, Max Zakheim sharing the trophy, as Max Zakheim was just announced as the Skyline Conference MVP of this game. And we talked a lot about Zevi Samet's 34 points, but Max Zakheim really stuffed the stat sheet today. Led the way for the Maccabees with 5 steals. Just an unbelievable job from the senior guard, who really meant so much to the Max. Finished final line on the day, 7 points, 8 rebounds, 4 assists, 5 steals. A great job from the Max as they slap their name at the end of the bracket. As they're wearing those gold t-shirts as the Gold Division and Skyline Conference champions. We'd like to thank JBS, the Jewish Broadcasting Service, for broadcasting tonight's game nationally. JBS is dedicated to strengthening the Jewish identity and education through their 24/7 programming. JBS is an incredible platform for sharing these games, and we're so grateful for the support of the Hope family for making this season's television broadcast possible. Stay tuned as we bring the Max energy to your screens coast to coast. And we'd like to thank JBS for partnering with us all season. Obviously, it's a little bit too early to talk about broadcasting a potential NCAA tournament game. For being honest, it's probably not likely, but we'll definitely stay tuned. Join our the Max Live WhatsApp chats. Follow us on Instagram, Twitter to get all the updates. We'll do our best, but we'll let you know any final results. Obviously, the Maccabees don't even know where they're going yet. The selection show will be tomorrow at 1 p.m. It's Monday afternoon at 1 p.m., so stay tuned for that. As it will be announced where the Maccabees will head and who they're playing. As you know, for those a little bit more in the weeds in terms of the NCAA tournament, the Maccabees are looking in pretty good shape to end up as the third team in their pod, meaning there are 4 teams in each pod. 4 teams will go to one host site. It looks like the Maccabees will be that middle game, not the host versus the lowest seed. They will be on that 2-3 game. Really a number of teams that they could play. We're not going to speculate. We're not even going to speculate where they could go. But I think if you're the Maccabees, you know, jettisoning off almost 20 straight Skyline wins dating back to last year, I think you feel that you're ready for anyone at this point.
And we talked about throughout the season just the goal for what the season could be. Obviously, we know last year they win the conference. That was a big accomplishment. This year, winning the conference again, but now you have a chance to do something this group hasn't done, and that's win a tournament game. So that's going to be a big development for this program and this group of guys. Obviously, we talked about how they're seniors, and this will be the end for them. But if they can go off, you know, not just on a Skyline championship, which they've already accomplished, but also a tournament win, I think that'd be a really huge deal for them in this program going forward.
Yeah, well, just like to take this time, you know, we talk a lot about the graduating seniors on the Maccabees, but we're going to talk about some of the graduating seniors for Max Live. I want to start first with Eitan Traurig. Everything that he does, even right now, he's following along the camera with the wire to make sure that we get the best shots of the net cutting. The amount of things that he does, whether it's for the Maccabees or Sarachek, dealing with all the coding behind the scenes, all the technical stuff. You know, me and Avery, thankfully, we get the flowers because it's our voice, it's our faces that are on the screen. But the amount that Eitan's done over the last 4 years, really since coming in to Yeshiva University, starting already as a freshman, he just does so much behind the scenes, making sure that all the technical stuff, all the graphics are in the right places, everything's set up, ready to go. Every camera is set up in the right place. Our announcer booth, I walk in, it's already ready because Eitan's been here 2 hours before every game setting things up. He's been such a huge part of everything that we at Max Live have done over the past couple years. I want to give him a huge thanks for everything he's done, and you know, he'll still be around for the Skyline, for the Sarachek tournament. But really just a huge thanks to Eitan and everything that he's brought to Max Live. I'd like to thank Jarrett Lazarus, our associate director. He's in charge of making sure that all the cameramen are in the right places. He started himself out as a cameraman a couple years ago, worked his way up. He's very often in the booth. He'll be directing traffic, making sure that you guys get the right cuts, the right angles, making sure the replays are good. He just does such a great job. He's so organized with everything that he does, making sure that you guys get the best experience at home. He wasn't able to make it today. He's watching from home, or from the plane even, flying back from Europe. But I just want to give a huge thank you to Jarrett Lazarus. Everything that he does, once again, we'll still all be here for the Sarachek tournament. But huge thanks to everything that he does. We'd like to give a huge thank you as well to David Sampson, our executive producer. He's been in charge of graphics and things like that. He started out, he's done basically everything. He's been a cameraman, he's been a director for us, you know, dealing with social media, different things like that. He started out also helping us out with the research team, and really everything he does, making sure that things are going smooth in whatever it is, and that things are going well for us in really any department he's able to handle on both sides. I'd like to give him a huge thank you. I'd like to give a huge thank you to my partner, Avery Stepner. Ever since Sarachek 2024, we've kind of been winging it together. And just the chemistry and the overall friendship that we've built in the booth over the last, 2.5 years. It's really been something that I haven't taken for granted. And I'd just like to thank you. And really, the insight you bring, especially this year with you being a coach, and the way that it's kind of almost improved your ability to call the games. You've done such a great job, and I'd like to thank you for everything that you've done. I'd like to give a shout out to Zachary Sikla, who will be back with Max Live next year, but really everything that he does for us as well. Shout out to him. Big shout out to Matthew Warren, who's basically spearheaded the research team. I kind of spoke about it last game, but he's taking the charge on all of our prep docs, all of our research things, everything that he's done for us. He's a huge part. Once again, one of these guys behind the scenes. He's also a cameraman for us from time to time. Really just does such a great job. And, I can't thank him enough for all the efforts that he's put in. Another guy, Marvin Azrak, you guys don't necessarily see. He does a lot of stuff with the website. Obviously, all of our articles, just the professionalism that he brings to the writing, the way he's able to tie the stories together. Just just does such a great job with everything that he touches. And we really want to thank him for all of his efforts behind the scenes. Once again, me and Avery are the ones, Chaim Stark, Zachary Sicklick, whoever it is on Sideline. Yaakov Lazar has called a couple games this year. We're the ones that everyone gets to see, but there's so much more that goes into all these games behind the scenes that you don't get to see. And we really want to make sure that all those guys get their flowers. We'd like to give a shout out to our director today, Aryeh Bluth in the booth today and over the Skyline Conference playoffs. He'll be back next year. We'd like to thank him for everything that he's done and everything that he will do. We'd like to thank Ariel Konigsberg for heading our graphics and social media team and everything that she does behind the scenes with the Instagram, with all the special content, all the cool things that have happened. We'd like to thank our graphics team, Rafael Teigman and Eliana Kiefer, and them for everything that they do. The rest of the guys on our research team, thank you, Chaim Stark, and really everyone else at Max Live, all of our cameramen, and really everyone else that really makes Max Live tick and make Max Live what it is. Shout out to Manny Aguilar-Spinoza, Ethan Burke, and Moshe Laub, who were cameramen for tonight, not just Matthew Warren. And it's really just been a special ride throughout these past couple years, and I really just want to thank everyone who was involved in bringing the Max to you. Obviously, thank you to the players for making this so entertaining. The journey's not over for them. Unfortunately, it's definitely over for us, although we do have Sarachek, but I just want to give a huge shout out to everyone that's made Max Live possible.
Yeah, and I just got to say, it's been an incredible run, being able to call the games for you guys, the audience, and I just want to thank you for being with us throughout this run. It's been really special to watch this group grow over the years. It's something I cannot take for granted. Obviously, really appreciate what I can do with you, partner, Yosef Silver, someone I look up to in a lot of different ways. But I just want to thank the audience and all of our listeners, because without you, we wouldn't have this platform. We wouldn't be able to enjoy the ride, like the way we've done. So we really appreciate that. It's been a pleasure and an absolute privilege to, be your voice along this journey. And it's just really exciting that it culminated in such a positive way. Again, obviously, as you mentioned, the players still got the NCAA tournament. We'll be cheering for them. But I just want to thank everyone for listening throughout the years and for having me on your TVs, your phones, whatever you watch the game on. It's been incredible, and I just really appreciate it. So thank you all.
It looks like we're going to have our social media availability. It's going to take place before the net cutting ceremony. I believe we usually do the losers first, as Coach Toomey coming out with the seniors. Sean Conroy, Robbie Seichin, and Mike Matthias. They've been such huge parts of everything that Farmingdale State has done over the past few years. I mean, you can't talk about Farmingdale State without mentioning those three guys. They've been so key in everything they've done. The absolute class of the Skyline Conference. Robbie Seichin moving into a starting role during the season. Mike Matthias, first team All-Skyline. Sean Conroy, I believe, got All-Skyline honors as well. And we are going to send it down in just a moment as our SID Student Information Director, Zeke Warren Wigman, is going to be running the social media availability for the Farmingdale State Rams. And, I'm sure it's got to be tough for them, being in the gym, having to do the social media. But we're really just going to send it down to them, and we thank them for working with us. Coach Toomey, especially this year, really worked with us, did a great job. We met with him before, and we just want to thank him for everything that he met with us before the last game. We want to thank him for that. He was actually really flexible. That was the day that Microsoft had a big outage, and we had to move the meeting a couple times. So yeah, it should be a good one, as we're just putting on the final touches for what should be the media availability, making sure that the Farmingdale State Rams players and coaches kind of get their final respect, put their final thoughts on what was definitely a great season, finishing the year 17-2, 15-1 in the regular season, number 2 seed in the Skyline Conference. And I think we're just going to send it down to Zeke Warren Wigman, who's going to take it away in just a moment. Shout out to him for everything that he does, working with us tirelessly. And yeah, we're going to send it down to Zeke, who is going to be running the social media availability for the Farmingdale State Rams.
We have the Skyline Conference runners-up, the Farmingdale State Rams here. Speaking is head coach Brendan Tomey, number 4, Robbie Seishan, number 5, Sean Connery, and number 10, Michael Nodius. First, Coach, just like to ask your thoughts on the game.
Yeah, I thought we played tough. Obviously, you know, Yeshiva's a tough team. Zevi played out of his mind in the second half. I don't really know what else we could have done when he's hitting those fadeaway threes.
What are we doing? This is what you get when you have it here. You can't have it in the gym if you're going to cut the net down. Let's go.
And welcome back into the booth in the Max Stern Athletic Center. We apologize for that. I don't think it was meant to be scripted like that. Coach Toomey, honestly, rightfully annoyed about the way that ended up playing out with, you know, them trying to do a post-game press conference on one end with Yeshiva cutting down the net on the other end. Definitely did not mean for that to happen. We obviously have the utmost respect for everything that goes on at Farmingdale State and did not mean to slight them in any way, I'm sure. As the Yeshiva Maccabees under the hoop, working on, I guess, the order of who gets to cut the nets first. And so many different players, so many different people really making this possible. You know, Coach Steinmetz right now standing under it. And I think we're just waiting for someone to kind of be the Nachshon and Aminadab of who's going to be the first guy to cut. We saw Max Zackheim kind of take a snip earlier, as we're kind of just waiting around. Trying to figure things out. As assistant coach Adi Markovich right now under the hoop. I don't know if it's going to be him cutting first. Usually the coaches tend to go last. But once again, overall a great game. 79-72 was the final between the Yeshiva University Maccabees and the Farmingdale State Rams. And a lot of shuffling going on. But I think if you're Yeshiva, you know, moving into the tournament game, obviously we don't know who to play. We don't know where they're going to be. We're not going to speculate. You know, obviously, you know, anywhere within 500 miles, in theory, is open for them to play. And, you know, so many Jews around the country, hopefully, you know, whether it be, for example, last year in Boston, a couple years ago in Baltimore, they got a lot of fans. You know, in Stockton, there were a bunch of fans that showed up. You know, obviously, Max Nation alive and well in many parts of the country, hoping that whichever city, whichever college is granted with the privilege of hosting the Yeshiva University Maccabees, that the local Jewish community will come out and support our Max, our Skyline champions. As it looks like senior Hillel Bainash is going to go up first. Hillel, such an important part of the team. You know, we sometimes make fun when we talk about practice players and how important practice players are to the team, but the intensity that he brings, the energy, the excitement that he brings makes such a difference. Such a happy guy, always moving around. Everyone's always a big fan of Hillel Bainash. Now Roy Itzkovich, a senior who's grown so much throughout his time in the Maccabees. Coach Elliot Steinmetz called him the most coachable player I've ever had. Just such a fundamental guy. Really, in the second half of this season, started attacking the basket more. Really has done a great job to improve his ability offensively to find space in zones and make his impact on that end. Really just been a great job. Senior Ari Shklar now getting up on the hoop. We talked about his Dvar Torah at Zevi Salmon. He's the vice president of the team Shacherth. And once again, you know, similar to Hillel Bainash, a guy that means so much to this team. You may not see the impact as much on the court, but off the court, this guy is such a leader. spearheading practice, keeping the intensity. And he mentioned in a Beyond the Court podcast with Zevi Samet last year, which you can find on Max Live, how, the win or the loss, whether he's on the court, off the court, he's going to do whatever he can do to get these guys win, and it just means so much to him. Now headed up the ladder is Dotan Bardichev. Dotan, another senior, had an excellent game today, especially on the defensive end. He hit some clutch threes down the stretch, and once again, another one of these guys that's really developed his game throughout his time at Yeshiva. Dealt with a little bit of an injury last season, but really came back to the forefront. He was the 6th man of the year for the Maccabees and just did a great job. Tom Beza, another guy for the Macs, a senior from Israel. He was part of that incoming class with Zevi Samet and Max and so many others. He really made his impact last season. Coach Steinmetz had put him in against Wesleyan when he kind of needed a spark, and Tom Beza really provided that defensive intensity and everything else. Yoavo Selka heading up, 2nd team for the Skyline. Frankly, I wouldn't have been surprised if he would have been 1st team. But Yoavo Selka, a huge part of what the Macs do, just does such a great job down low. His ability to move as a guard, his ability in transition, such a good dribbler of the basketball for a guy at that size. Joe Schanzer, a rookie for the Maccabees from White Plains in his first season with the Macs, played a key bench role, defensive energy, defensive intensity, and he's hit a bunch of threes as well, shooting 35% from 3 on the year. And he's a bright spot for the Maccabees. Another bright spot for the Macs, Johnny Dan. We're talking about intensity and energy, the microwave, as Johnny Dan is known. Really bringing his all every time he steps onto the court. We saw it when he was in high school, and now as a member of the Maccabees. He has a bright future ahead of him as well. And who else? The Stark shooter, the Muncie Mamba, call him what you will. PBG, as Charlie Bentheim would say, Zevi Samet, once again cutting down the baskets. Finished the day with 34 points. The undisputed leader of the Maccabees, both on and off the court. And he's just done such a great job this season, last season, and throughout his 4-year career. The 3-point king, the points king, the single game points king of the Maccabees. As now Ben Lazary gets up in his 2nd season with the Macs, high-flying forward. We see him throw down crazy athletic dunks, pregame, 360s, anything else. Ben Lazary, just an electrifying player, hopefully has a bright future here with the Macs. As we'll see who goes up next. Looks to be manager Kobe Kurtz. Kobe actually a member of our baseball team, but does so much behind the scenes for the Maccabees basketball team. Whether it be at practices, right? He's not even on the team. He's at the 6 a.m. practices, helping shoot around with different players at different times, doing things for Coach Steinmetz, keeping track of stats in-game, does such a great job. Morty Rogoznitsky as well, the other manager for the team, once again playing a similar role, really revolutionizing the way they prepare the scout for each team. Just like to give a huge shout out to those guys, Kobe and Morty. Now headed up on the ladder is going to be Philip Liebman. And Philip Liebman, once again, a huge part of the Macs, brings such energy as the manager, doing such a great job. Absolutely a player favorite as you hear them cheer for him as he cuts down the net. And just, like we've talked about, so many players, so many people really making such impacts for the team. As Phil steps down, we'll see who gets up. As Noam Edry came into YU in January of last year, had a lot to learn over the offseason, lost 40 pounds. You were talking about how Zevi put in so much work in the offseason. When I came into the gym for the first time this year and I saw Noam Edry, I genuinely did not recognize him. New player wearing a new number, and you could see he made a big impact today. He's just so in shape. He's really developing as a player, and especially with a lot of the key Maccabees graduating, with him sticking around, he could be a huge part of what the Maccabees do going forward. The freshman sensation, Yair Dovrat, just missed out on winning Skyline Rookie of the Year. As Dovrat's going to cut the net. And, with hopefully a bright future for the Maccabees will definitely be in his hands as he projects to be one of the key leaders of the Maccabees going forward. Nate Jacobs now headed up the ladder. Once again, another one of the freshmen coming in. The Cleveland native brings a lot of energy, especially on the glass. On defense, he can score a little bit as well. Clearly a player that is still, progressing, but he's done such a great job this year, and I'm sure he'll be able to make strides going forward. Tom Valdwin, another guy who has already made strides since coming to the Maccabees. But we saw down the stretch last game, he had those 2 threes at the end of the game against Old Westbury. He brings a nice combination of size and speed, solid IQ for a player coming from Israel. Still has 2 years left of eligibility. Definitely another guy. Johnny Katz, one of the players on the practice squad. He'll likely move in to the active roster next year, standing at 6'6". There's a lot to like with Johnny Katz. We'll get to see him a lot more next year for the Maccabees. Should play a key role. Mati Karpov, 6'9", primarily a volleyball player from Warsaw, Poland. He doesn't even get on the ladder. He's just going to reach from under the hoop. Mati Karpov sniffing it out, as once again another guy from the practice squad will likely move to the active roster. He actually was at D1 Ball State on a volleyball scholarship last season, transferred to Yeshiva for the Judaism environment. Another guy on the practice squad, Yishai Rosenblatt. He brings a lot, really a dynamic forward. He'll be a delight to watch next year for the Maccabees, as he's an absolute bucket, as I think they're looking for more players that haven't hit it yet. Erez Cohen, another guy just transferred from Oklahoma Panhandle State, an NAIA school, and he was just added to the practice squad recently, and he's another guy who could come in next year and make a big difference. President Berman, obviously the leader at Yeshiva University. He runs everything we do here. Started out the game with prayers, of course, and really just leads us, leads the university, and has done such a great job in his tenure as president. You know, definitely a huge part of the Maccabees now 5 Skyline championships under his tenure. Shout out to President Berman and everything he does. Alex Kurievsky, the Australian forward for the Maccabees, looks to be a bright spot for next year, as the 6'6" forward really has an eye for the game, high IQ player. You know, we see him make some key highlight passes, and, you know, as he takes strides in his game, he should further make an impact on this Maccabees team, as they're looking around for more guys to cut the net. And they're going to call over Coach Ronnie of the UNLV Red Rebels for when they won the NCAA tournament. He's such a huge part of what this team does, especially on defense. Ronnie spearheads the defense. He's here 6 a.m. practice every day. We talked about in a previous sideline that Ronnie was inspired by Zevi Samit, agreed to put on tefillin, especially with the way we've been playing so well on the defensive end. And Coach Ronnie, once again, a huge part of this coaching staff for the Maccabees. Joe Schwartz, longtime assistant of Coach Steinmetz. He gets up on the ladder. Once again, another one of these guys. He's always at practice, making sure things are running smoothly. Him and Ronnie, you know, he helps Ronnie out on the defense. He does so much behind the scenes for the Maccabees. Joe Schwartz getting his piece of the net at the Max Stern Athletic Center. Now, looks to be Adi Markovich, maybe, who's going to head up. Former player for Yeshiva. I believe he was a 5-year player for the Maccabees. He was actually one of the leaders of this team when they started out as freshmen and as sophomores. Adi Markovich, for the 2nd year in a row, now as an assistant coach for the Maccabees. Just a high IQ player getting to cut down the net. A.B. Rosso, another assistant coach for the Macs, got married this year. Mazel tov to him. Another guy was part of this roster. It's also his birthday today. Thank you, Matthew Lauren, for that tidbit. So congratulations to A.B. Rosso cutting down the net. I think they're going to scout Yoni Cohen for everything that he does. The academic liaison for the Maccabees and assistant coach. He once again does so much in help prepping the guys for the games with their classes, everything like that. The unofficial translator of the Maccabees, Coach Yoni Cohen, brother of Rav Don Cohen and longtime assistant for the Macs. Father of Mike Cohen, YU legend. As our trainer, Xavier Alzate, X, as he's commonly known, does so much to get these players ready. Baruch Hashem, we have not had too many guys miss time, and that's due to the efforts of our trainer X. Eli Katz, in charge of the scouting report for every team, cutting down a nice piece of the net for himself. He does so much behind the scenes in terms of making sure the players are really ready to go for every game, making sure that everything is ready to go. Greg Fox is coming down, and special tidbit, which you'll see more on Zevi's Instagram, I'm sure. Greg Fox went over to Zevi recently and said, "Hey, Zevi, why haven't you asked me to put on tefillin yet?" And Zevi said, I didn't even know you were Jewish, Greg. And before the game today, Greg Fox put on tefillin for the first time since his bar mitzvah. And you got to think that that's part of the schus. Greg Fox, the athletic director for Yeshiva, and everything that he does, putting on tefillin today. Definitely a big schus for the Macs and their victory over Farmingdale State. Team writer Douglas Altoff as well. He, once again, he also put on tefillin for the first time since his bar mitzvah. He's under the hoop right now. You see it with the orange iPhone. He's been following the team around for a while. Really, gets this inside scoop. Eric Amkraut, the assistant athletic director at Yeshiva University, once again does so much in the scheduling and making sure that all the games are staffed properly. Huge shout out to Eric and everything that he does. As you see, obviously there are certain players that may shine more than others, but it's really a team effort. Elliot Steinmetz now, as he'll cut the remainder of the net off, hyping his guys. The leader of the Maccabees the last 12 years, really helped revitalize the program this season, crossed 200 wins, moved into second all-time for the Maccabees. And Coach Steinmetz, for the 5th time in 12 seasons, is leading the Maccabees to the NCAA tournament. As I believe at this point the celebrations will move into the locker room. Coach Steinmetz taking the net. Maybe they'll take one more picture. As Coach Steinmetz calling the guys to the locker room, which means that'll do it for us here in the Max Stern Athletic Center. We really want to thank everyone, once again, like we said, involved in the broadcast. Eitan Traurig, David Sampson, Jarrett Lazarus, Aryeh Bluth in the booth, Matthew Lauren, Marvin Azrak, Ariel Konigsberg. In general, Chaim Stark, Yaakov Lazar, Zachary Siklik, everything that he does behind the scenes, and just everyone else. I feel bad if I left out anybody's name. Just really thank you so much. On behalf of us at Max Live, follow us on WhatsApp, on socials, and make sure that you are following us. We will still keep covering the Max as this season hopefully goes for many, many more games. Did you just take me out? As we are going to end the broadcast here. We will be back for the press conference after this, but I believe we're going to end this broadcast, head over to the Max Live YouTube where we will be streaming post-game press conference. I don't know if we're going to do the Maccabees first or the Rams first. Looks like it's going to be the Maccabees. But that'll do it for us here in the Max Stern Athletic Center. Head over to the Max Live YouTube page for media availability. Thank you so much. Shout out to the Chinskys for coming. Shout out to Ellie Ruckelsman. Shout out to everyone else. It looks like we're going to stay on for the media availability just to make sure we streamline the process. Shout out to my parents and everyone else watching. And, shout out to everyone who keeps following the Maccabees as the season goes along. We're getting things set for the media availability. As Greg Fox, Zeke Warren, Wigman talk it over. And we just want to make sure things are all set. As the gym is now quieted down. One of our hoops is missing a net, but I think it'll stay in the Max Stern Athletic Center.
We lost it.
As they're just working on the technicalities of making sure we have the right angles for this game. It's going to be Coach Steinmetz with senior captain Zevi Samit, MVP Maxwell Zackheim. We're going to send it down in just a moment. But really not much left to say. I mean, just a great team effort for these guys. As, just been an excellent game, excellent season for the Maccabees. And, we talked about this so much, how
with us now, we have head coach Elliot Steinmetz.
We're going to send it down to Zeke.
And Skyline Player of the Year, Zevi Samit. First, coach, just like to get your thoughts on the game.
Thought it was a battle. Obviously, the last 8 years have, last 8 years have gone this way, or 9 years, where it's been, us in Farmingdale, really well-coached team. They were very well prepared, came out really strong in the first half. We felt pretty good going at halftime that, we were only down 2 with the way they had played and competed. And, leadership. We have really, really good leadership. These 2 guys sitting next to me are the reason that game turned around in the second half and, made us champs.
Max, what does it mean to win championship MVP?
It's nice, but it's really about, the bigger trophy, all the time that we put in, for the last 4 years for a big chunk of our group, every single morning, whether practice or not, didn't matter. We're in the gym, we're getting better. It's just it's a culmination of just, of 4 years of just so much work. So it's great to be recognized, but, the guy sitting over here is a big reason why we won this year and last year and been in this position. But, look, we got a good win here, but we're not satisfied. We're looking to, do more things in the tournament, so I'm excited for that.
Zevi, what does it mean to win back-to-back Skyline Player of the Year and be on the conference championship team?
It feels great. It feels great. Couldn't do without this guy. Couldn't do without Coach. Sometimes I get very lazy at times. As if you watch the game, I got cooked a little bit on defense. But I have a coach and I got a captain keeping me in check, making sure I'm doing the right thing and, keeping my mind focused. It feels good. We have early morning practice. I've sacrificed so much in my life the last 4 years to go to sleep early, to wake up early, so I can get in the gym with these guys and just get better every single day. And then, to know that we're going to have another Team Shabbaton and another week of Chakras is what counts, is what's really special, and practice.
How much do you credit beyond the court to the team's success this year?
100%. 100% of that, which then gives us the 99% of the hard work that we put in. We put in 100%. It's great math. 100% of BTC. We had 22 guys over for this past Shabbos at my house. Guys coming, Team Chakras. We're just like a family. Like Max said the other day in practice, in the locker room, when he said family, he started choking up because it meant real to him. We're not just a regular family that just does stuff on the court. We're a family that does stuff off the court, and it's just everything. And I believe, obviously, we're Jews. We're living for God. We're trying to do everything for God. Obviously, everyone has different ways of going about that, but we're all here doing the same mission. And to do that and then, obviously, come out on the court, thank God above.
What does it mean, as seniors, what does it mean to leave the team with a championship, with an NCAA tournament berth? What does that mean to you?
It feels great. That's that's why you play. That's why you work. It's to be champions. I've been lucky to be a part of now 3 championship teams in my 5 years playing college, 2 here obviously. But it's just there's nothing like it. You go through all those struggles. All the times in the foxhole with and as Zevi's kind of alluded to before, there's no team in the country that has more family feel than we do. It's just there's no bickering, anything. It's just everyone's there to make each other better and love each other, and that's why we're able to go back to back. Going back to back's not easy. There's a thing of when teams win championship, it's the thirsty for more, saying something like that, where it's guys start to be we won a championship, now I think I could do more. No, we added pieces and we all found a way to be a team, and that's why ultimately we're winning and we're going dancing. So.
Looking ahead, tomorrow, 1:00 p.m., the NCAA bracket announcement for D3. Where are you hoping to go? Who are you hoping to play?
I don't think we care. We've played some of the toughest teams in the country this year. Our record to start the season kind of showed it. It's not ego to say we don't care who we play. We use that schedule to try to get better. We got humbled. We got humbled a lot of the course of this season, and I think that these guys proved why scheduling that way was worth it. They were ready for the big games. They were ready for the playoffs. They were ready to play the toughest team at the end of the year, we think we're ready to go play in the first round.
Guys, congratulations on the victory once again. It was almost a year ago today. We were sitting together in Boston at Tufts after the unfortunate loss in the first round of the tournament. After having gone through that experience, another year, another straight championship, and going to the tournament again, and you guys being with a similar roster as last year, what do you guys have to change in the tournament this year as opposed to last year? And what do you guys have to keep doing in order to have better success this year in the tournament?
I think it's pretty simple. I think it's just maturity. I think that's something that we've really grown in our maturity this year as a team. I think last year we kind of made a run in the Skyline. Felt like we got a little lucky. Made some shots. This guy might have made a big shot over here. And I don't know that we were ready to compete at that level as a team in the NCAA tournament last year. I think we're going in with a little bit of a different understanding, a little bit of a different maturity level, understanding the concept of trading me for we, trading good shots for great shots, and that's something that we did not bring with us last year and that I'm hopeful we'll bring this year.
And also, over the course of the past few years, you guys have always been very auspicious with honoring things, wearing orange shirts, giving shirts to your opponents. I'm curious to hear your thoughts on the auspiciousness of winning the conference championship on Purim right after the supreme leader of Iran was just eliminated. Does that come off as anything special in your minds, or?
I don't know what auspicious means, but what I'll tell you is I don't care about the supreme leader of Iran. What I care about is, what happened in Beit Shemesh today, obviously, and what our people in Israel are going through, what our soldiers from the United States are managing and dealing with. Those are the people that are in my minds. The terrorist dog that was killed, whatever, that makes the world a better place, obviously. But our thoughts are with, our United States servicemen, the IDF, and the people in Israel who are suffering the brunt of the, retaliatory attacks from Iran.
Thank you, guys. Once again, your Skyline Conference champions, the Yeshiva University Maccabees.
Go! I couldn't hear. What Elliot said you guys laughed at? He says it.
Wait. And welcome back into the booth here in the Max Stern Athletic Center. Yosef Silver, Avery Stepner. Looks like we're not going to get that media availability from Farmingdale State, so that'll do it for us here on the broadcast. Once again, we just want to give a huge thanks to everyone who made this possible. Thank you to the Skyline Conference for streaming this game and obviously making the Skyline season possible. And we just, that'll do it for us here at Max Live. Stay tuned for the 1 p.m. selection show on Monday afternoon, where the NCAA D3 bracket will be announced. We may or may not be doing a stream during the announcement, during the show. So stay tuned for our WhatsApps, Instagram, Twitter, etc. for information on that. I really just want to thank all the viewers watching at home. We can't do this without you. And we really thank you for sticking with us, especially the diehards that are still with us now. But for the final time, that'll do it for us here in the booth. For Avery Stepner, I'm Yosef Silver. Have an easy fast, have a happy Purim, and enjoy the Maccabees tournament game this coming Friday.